What's up, gang? How everybody doing? I hope everybody doing good because I am. All right. Man, y'all is not gonna believe this. Y'all is not gonna believe this. Bruh, I think I finally got it. Now, I'm gonna wait till a couple of people get in here, talking about happy Valentine's to everybody, I'm talking about. Hope you enjoyed your day. Now, look. Let me tell y'all this. Y'all know Kenneka Martin case is a whole insurance fraud. It's an insurance fraud. Now, let me break it down. This what's going on. Miss Teresa, we don't know how she know these people, but Miss Teresa know these people. Before Kenneka ever came up missing in the hotel, bruh, they done had a meeting about Kenneka Jenkins. Look, they had a meeting about Kenneka Jenkins and they had to stage an accident because both parties gonna benefit off the body. It's an insurance thing. You see what I'm talking about? That's why, look, y'all listen to me closely. Think about this, right? We dealing with organ harvesting at its finest. We dealing with some corrupt people. Check this out. Everybody know the hotel is the owner is connected, right, to some organ trafficking ring. We know that for sure, right? His name been in, I'm talking about, linked to corrupt people, corrupt doctors, I'm talking about, and corrupt medical examiner office. He linked to all of that. Now he done paid a lot of money to wipe his image off the internet, so you ain't gonna find no pictures of him. I done dig deep. I can't find it, but I did found some information though. Now look, check this out, gang. Listen to me closely. When y'all watch that footage, you never seen third shift employees. Think about that. You never seen third shift employees. Think about that, right? So boom. When they said, when Leonora first brought it up, this hotel is selling you know what. This what they did. They staged, well, y'all know they committed murder. Then they, what I'm saying, and they gave us a narrative of an accident. That was the whole plan from the get-go. You see what I'm saying? That was the whole plan from the get-go. So Kenneka gonna arrive, boom, boom, boom. The murder was gonna take place, and now Miss Teresa gonna start doing news press conference. This how it's gonna go down, guys. Boom, I'm gonna sit at the table with you. I'm gonna let you know what's really going on. They're gonna agree to the murder. Once they agree to the murder, they're gonna go forth with the murder. That's why Miss Teresa and some of her close family members was in on it. That's why nobody don't never talk about their baby daddies. That's why you don't never just see them in pictures with their baby daddies and stuff, right? So look, boom, the murder took place. It's gonna be an accident. They're gonna air it on the news. You know what I'm talking about? And Miss Teresa's job is to throw a lot of confusion out there, you know what I'm saying? Well, release the tape and you know what I'm saying? It's a cover up and you know what I'm saying? And throw that little out there because they were designed to throw everybody in the loop of confusion, right? So boom, now they played with us with the 36-hour footage, you know what I'm saying? With a looking like roaming the halls, you know what I'm talking about? Then they got all these YouTubers, cause this where the YouTubers gonna come in at, right? The YouTubers supposed to be like something like, look, we gonna keep the narrative rolling, and then they gonna get the fame at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Like Straight Drop was doing, and Chosen King then was doing. You see what I'm saying? Now you know Hollywood was involved with this too. Because, they got Zach and J Money interviewed. And, they were still living. And, when they died, keep that in mind, too. Now, let's go back to this organ harvesting ring, right? Because it's dealing with organ harvesting. Now, let me tell y'all this. Let me ask y'all this. How many of y'all right now truly believe this has something to do with organ harvesting? How many of y'all believe this got something to do with organ harvesting? Thumb me up, Jack. Now look, y'all want to know how the game so cold? Now y'all remember that pastor that was preaching at the funeral? Y'all heard about the pastor, right? Y'all heard what he said. Look, y'all heard what he said about the funeral. Matter of fact, I'ma play it. Look.
Even if you do soul on my back, I promise you just dust the soul on my shoulder and love on you even harder. So I'm telling y'all, who are all listening to me, the God right now is telling you guys, obedience, love thy neighbor as God has loved.
Look, y'all know who that is? Look, y'all know who that is, right? Everything what I just told y'all, I'm finna bring it to the light. Now, when you listen to him, right? Once you listen to him, you got the message.
The church. So when you go home, don't think of this ceremony as sending Kenneka home, sending it for a new shift that's about to take place. And if you don't love like you're supposed to, the train gonna leave you behind.
For God so loved the world.
Don't y'all know he was at the crime scene? What if I show y'all proof that this same preacher right here that's teaching, know what I'm talking about, at this church right here? What if you heard it, this same preacher said he was at the crime scene? I'm finna shed the light. Then y'all know why he said the things that he said. He just told y'all, yeah, Miss Rika sacrificed her daughter. The devil told her to do it. Look, this same dude right here, Miss Teresa know him. Look, Miss Teresa know him on the radio on the radio interview, she said she know Andre. Andre from the neighborhood. And I ain't never looked into Andre. But Andre is that activist that was on Miss Teresa's side in the beginning, and he a pastor. Look, I'm finna show y'all who he is. Hold on. Listen to him.
That he gave his only.
This type of love that God has is a love like no other. I did not know Kenneka, but guess what? I knew she had prosecution, hurt, illness. We're going to go to the love of Job that Job had for Jesus.
There he go. That's him. Andre Williams.
Job had a love for Jesus like no other. Job said, I'm past it, I'm gonna move around a little bit. But Job had a kind of love for Christ like no other. And I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret about Job. So Job, Jesus, hallelujah to the Lamb. Y'all looking at Job sitting in his audience right there. Hallelujah to the Lamb. So what happened with Job was, I'm going to encourage somebody in a minute. I'm going to encourage you. What?
Now look, do y'all know the story about Job? Get the message. And I'm going to skip along. The story, everybody should know a story about Job. That God let Satan went down there and took all his possessions. So Satan could show God like, yeah, your servant is not worthy. You see what I'm saying? It's about a temptation. You know what I'm saying? He lost family. You know what I'm saying? He lost his flocks. And you know what I'm talking about? Everybody should know the story about it. So when you look at Teresa's situation, look at Teresa's situation with Job, but look at the evil side of it. You know what I'm saying? What she benefit from it. So boom. Now here he go at a protest. At a protest. And listen to what he said.
I walked through the whole.
How many hours after this was over?
10 hours.
10 hours and there wasn't
No tape. I got.
Who talked to you, the police?
Listen, they didn't even know. See, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Appearance is everything, right?
Yes, sir.
So I had on my suit and tie this day. I had on my suit and tie. So guess what? As I was going to the door, they didn't even bother me because they felt that I was part of them. I had a room here. So guess what I did? I walked in, I put my feet down, and I sat down. Right? When I sat down, I couldn't. So I went to the elevator. I went up to the 9th floor, 8th floor, 7th floor, 6th floor, every floor to see if it was just some tape.
Man, y'all shut
somewhere because it's a crime scene. Exactly. This is a crime scene, y'all. There was no tape. No.
What? What is I'm hearing? Man, look. It's like this. I don't care if he a false prophet. I don't even care if he ain't no pastor. The internet said he a pastor. He got a church. I seen this. I got all this information pulled up. But look what these people, look what he said. He was at the crime scene. He looking for yellow tape. How? You was there before and then, wait a minute. Yeah.
No tape. So I came back outside with my young lady here. And when I came back outside, we were sitting here and we tried to walk back up to the door and they wouldn't let us in. Why? When I first walked up and I had my suit on, you let me in. But now, come on, y'all. We got to do better. For real, y'all. I walked through the whole.
How many hours after this was over?
10 hours.
10 hours and there wasn't
no tape. I got.
Who talked to you, the police?
Listen, they didn't even know. See, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Appearance is everything, right?
Yes, sir.
So I had on my suit and tie this day. I had on my suit and tie. So guess what? As I was going to the door, they didn't even bother me because they felt that I was part of them. I had a room here. So guess what I did? I walked in.
Then he said he had a room there. Look, man, bruh. Check this out. This man just told y'all he was there following the police trying to see where the crime scene was, and there was no yellow tape. He going to flow. So that means, what's this telling y'all? Man, Miss Teresa, him, and a lot of people, goddamn it, was in that hotel. You see what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. Why you think he would be there September? before the news heard about it, before the world even heard about it. Why you think he was there? Eating milk and cookies? I guess he on vacation.
How many hours after this was over?
10 hours.
10 hours and there wasn't
No tape. I got.
Who talked to you, the police?
Listen, they didn't even know. See, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Appearance is everything, right?
Yes, sir.
So I had on my suit and tie this day. I had on my suit and tie. So guess what? As I was going to the door, they didn't even bother me because they felt that I was part of them. I had a room here. So guess what I did? I walked in, I put my feet down, and I sat down. Right? When I sat down, I couldn't. So I went to the elevator. I went up to the 9th floor, 8th floor, 7th floor, 6th floor, every floor to see if it was just some tape.
Man, y'all shut
somewhere because it's a crime scene. This is a crime scene, y'all. There was no tape. No tape. So I came back outside with my young lady.
Bruh, y'all want to know how scary this is? Watch this, bruh.
Created a foundation myself called I Will Foundation, and what I do, I reach out to the communities. Every August I give away 5,000 book bags filled with school supplies out of my own account. I also, every Christmas I give kids coats, hats, scarves, gloves, and then every Christmas morning I wake up and I go out and give Christmas bags to the homeless. So these are different events.
This is a big deal. Wow, that's a lot.
I also have a Big Brother, Big Sister program where I have a relationship with Chicago Public Schools where if they feel that a child is being going down the wrong way, they will refer them to my Big Brother and Big Sister program. I got college students that are juniors and getting ready to graduate. They partner with me, and I align them with a child that is struggling, and they will guide them onto a positive path.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Bruh, y'all know I linked this stuff back to Jerry Springer. Look. Check this out. Y'all look. Y'all know how this finna lead back to Hollywood? Do y'all know Tammy Roman, the actress lady that spoke about the Kenneka Jenkins case? Guess who she worked with? She worked with Zillionaire, bruh. These people work in Hollywood on the same movie script. Bruh. Look. Watch this. Now since I showed y'all that, now y'all know why he talking like this. Shut up.
Hey, come on in. Hello, come on in, everybody. Come on in. Please share this video immediately. Please share this video immediately if you guys can. It's very, 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 very crucial and very important that this video be shared. What I'm about to say is very, very important, y'all. It's very, very important, and I need y'all to share it, and I need everybody to come in, and I need everybody to come in immediately. Share this video because what I'm about to say is very important. It's very, 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 very important. So I need y'all to share it and come on in. I'm kind of a little nervous and scared myself. Well, I'm not scared, but I am nervous. I need y'all to come on in. I need you to come on in. Casey Biz Boss, I see it, and I'll get to you in a little bit. I just need y'all to share this because it's something very, very important that I need you guys to hear, and I need you guys to listen to this. Martin, everybody, I need you guys to come in, and I need you to listen. Hey, sister. Hey, sister. I need y'all to share it. Continue to share it. And I'm about to go ahead and start letting you guys know. So I need you guys to come in, and I need you guys to watch this and listen, and I need you guys to share this immediately, because I need you guys to come in so I won't have to repeat it. And good afternoon, everybody. I need you guys to come in. I want to say something to you guys. So let me tell y'all, and I know they are watching me. They are watching my page, and I know they are. But I need y'all to hear this. I have been approached by the Crown Plaza representative, I believe. I'm not sure if it is, but I believe that it is. But I have been contacted by them. And the reason for them contacting me was for me to stop the protesting, for me to stop going up to Rosemont. Right now, my safety is at risk. Right now, my safety is at risk, and I have to expose the devil. I have to expose the devil. And I have to let you guys know that I know that it's at risk. Me doing this, me even getting on here and sharing this, I know that now my safety is at risk, but I'm assured that I'm in the hands of God. I'm assured that I am in the hands of the Most High. But I have been approached for me to stop protesting. And I turned it down because I will not be bought. I would not be brought by anything. I would not be brought, and I would not be sold out. I would not sell my people out for nothing. So I am exposing the devil. And
y'all see that fakery? Now look, Miss Teresa know him from the neighborhood. Then he at the crime scene. Then he got a room there. He talking about he went from the 9th floor down to the 6th floor. All right. Now I understand why he getting threats from Crown Plaza. Because he got to be involved, Jack.
Go and we need everyone to know that we're going to stand on what we believe and we would not back down. I remember my great leader Martin Luther King said, they can spray the water hose, they can even send the dogs, but he stood on what he believed in, and that's what caused some kind of change. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we got to do. Can't be afraid of the dogs in the water hose. We got to stand on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Let me also just touch.
Then look, he preached at the funeral and told y'all the devil told Miss Teresa to sacrifice Kenneka because you about to get a shift and a change in your life. Y'all don't, I mean, is that well put together from the neighborhood? He up there with the friends and family at the hotel. He got a room there. Then he slick at protests. Nobody don't even see none of this. And then he end up being a pastor and told it on the stage. And everybody would listen to the message. Was like, ooh, did y'all hear what the pastor said? Said Mr. Reese done sacrificed. And y'all thinking it was a man of God telling y'all and preaching things out the Bible. And you mean to tell me Mr. Reese out here with this but God? And come on, bro, y'all don't see the game they was running? Then look, keep this in mind. He with the activists, Jedediah Brown. Look at the activists, Jedediah Brown, Lamont, him, and all them niggas. We know they bisexual. You see what I'm saying? Then you got this lady named Sheena James. Sheena supposed to be related to Jedediah. She the one that organized everything. You know what I'm saying? And but then look, Mr. Jedediah did something. Mr. Teresa started spread her and Sheena James got together, came up with a story about Jedediah. Because Jedediah was talking about telling everybody something. So boom, then the hotel see how messy it is, and the hotel telling them people, hey man, y'all need to cut it out. You see what I'm saying? Y'all need to cut it out. They done got messy, called their protests off. Because look at all the commotion that was going on at that time. Everybody fight one another, but they all talking about let's stick together. You see what I'm saying? And let's do it for Kenneka. But the whole time, everybody chasing the bag because everybody know Mr. Reese finna get the money. There's no doubts about that. That's the insurance claim money, right? The hotel not finna take a loss. Nobody not finna take a loss in this situation. You see what I'm saying? Because everything gonna be covered by insurance. Now, this the reason why they would stage all of this. Because look, it's dealing with organs. That's why you had the investigation already complete, pictures already taken, you know what I'm talking about, the story narrative is already out, you know what I'm talking about, they already had this before we even heard all of this. So like boom, now you go back to the hotel. Now we know he up in there chopping paws. So I looked at it. I said, if y'all truly believe, you know what I'm saying, that man is dealing with organ harvesting, guess where they do it at? In Crown Plaza. Downstairs in the basement, everybody know in the beginning, Rosemont had that area secured. They ain't want nobody to go down there, not even employees. Remind y'all, these people had to have special permission to go down there. You see what I'm saying? And nobody didn't know why it's like that, why they treating it like it's Roswell airspace crash or something. So now you know what's down there, a whole medical facility. Look, when you looked at them pictures of Kenneka at the funeral home, that's Kenneka, bro. And that ain't even at the funeral home. That's still at Crown Plaza, bro. You see, look, you see how Kenneka was slim, you know what I'm talking about, on the pictures and stuff? And then all of it, if you look at Kenneka funeral pictures, not the one in the casket, one with the sheet, the hospital sheets covering her. Look at that picture and look at Kenneka in the freezer. She all of a sudden swole. Your body just don't blow and swell up and then unswell and swell back up again. You see what I'm saying? If you put that picture first, if you put that picture there first, then put the freezer picture after that, now you got a gap like, okay, ooh, so that's why they were doing all this autopsy stuff. You get what I'm saying? That's when they playing cutting bodies open. Round about that time, before the funeral, all of it. The girl that had her funeral 3 weeks after that. Then look. Watch this.
Hey, good evening. Hope everybody is making it home safely. Need for y'all to come on in and tune in. Something very important, very, very, very important that I want to address. And it has began to get very displeasing. But like I said, y'all, want to let you guys know something that has been going on. Everybody share this video so that the one that this intended for, which is the chosen clown, the guy who's making these videos, who's known on YouTube. Hey, Monique, how are you, sis?
Now y'all see this, right? Everything Trey Gang been telling y'all should able to see this, right? Notice Miss Teresa was keeping herself away from him. That she, cause she ain't want nobody that these two really knew each other and they were working together and they try to disguise themselves at the protest like I'm here to help. Let's form a activist group and let's get things started. You see what I'm saying? Now look, check this out.
Chosen King, what he's known on YouTube, and he's been creating these different videos dealing with the Kenneka Jenkins case. Hello, everybody. So what I'm about to share, I wanted to get back to him. So I want y'all to share this video so that it will, because the hurt and the damage that he has caused. What's up, Charles? What's going on, bro? The damage that he is causing behind his false allegations is not cool to my family, nor to my kids, and their safety is at harm. And they are right now, as you hear them, in there jumping and they're playing around. But I need this to get out. Chosen, you have putting out lies, and you have gotten my foundation to be discontinued into because the school have to follow protocol because of the things that you have said. Hey, Candace, how are you? So listen, this is what happened. This guy put out that I'm a murderer and I murder kids for their organs and I murder kids for their body parts. This is what he has been putting out to everyone. He even called up to the school where I'm working to help our young people and lying and doing some lying, which causes them to really pull back. And he got people writing on my that I snatch kids. He got people hashtagging I will snatch kids. That's what is being hashtagged on my foundation page, and it is sending a impression to people, and he's calling around and he's telling people that I am a murderer and I am part of Chicago's corruption. And at first I would just let it pass and I wouldn't say anything because I don't feed into it. But then it had got to the point where they was calling up to the school and they was saying things to the people up at the school. And then they went as far as having people comment and write on my Facebook wall about lies that he is telling.
Now, why y'all think Chosen King saying these things? Why y'all think Chosen King put him in the mix? He even admit he was there.
It's not cool. You're a liar, dude. And I understand why it is that you do what you do. And it's only because of the simple fact of the matter. You have to keep your audience going. But I pray for you, bro. I pray for you. And I've reached out to the police and I have got legal documents and going to push forward. I'm going to do that. I'm going to press forward heavily with legal charges because it not only has it brought confusion with my character, but also with my foundation. So I am going about it. I am going about it the right way and legally because this guy needs to be stopped. He put out so much recklessness on me and attacking my character, saying yes, and saying that I was part of the cover-up with Kenneka, although I stayed out there countless times confessing and protesting. And he has put this out that I am a murderer and that I abduct kids and I snatch kids. And if you go back, he said all of this started. If you go back.
Keep this in mind. Miss Teresa work in cafeteria dealing with kids. And Leonora say she work in the cafeteria too. Bruh, this finna get so deep. Cause that Hotel Crown Plaza got a whole morgue in it. Y'all wanna know this? I honestly believe the reason why we don't find half of the missing kids in Chicago because whoever snatching them up off the street, I believe they got a hot spot named Crown Plaza that they would take these people to. Snatch your organ, cremate the body. Look, follow the trail. Cause, look, why you think these people is not popping up? Do y'all remember that lady, that white lady came up missing in Rosemont right there at the Doubletree, bruh? Look, check this out. I'm trying to tell y'all the operation. If you don't believe me, guess who will be charged? Guess who will be in charge this whole operation? Because this going to take a team. It's going to start with crooked medical students, crooked doctors. Remind y'all, medical students at the hotel with doctors. But you never seen, when the police were there, you never seen no medical students. Like where all of a sudden these medical students went to. Now look, keep this in mind, that I was doing research. Cause if you believe that owner is in the organ harvesting, he doing it in Crown Plaza. And they throw banquets. They'll throw parties. Like they'll have college students and doctors. And once you look at the footage, you would think these people be in and out of ballroom just to be whatever they doing, going over some paperwork or some kind of literature. And the whole time, they somewhere in the secret part of the hotel doing the real exhibits. You know what I'm talking about? You got these people right here, they experimenting on the body. You see what I'm saying? They whatever they do with the body, boom, boom, boom. When they get through with the body, all right, Miss Teresa, light, camera, and action. I get the call at 4:34 in the morning. And then you got Andrew Holmes coming. He got all the files in the paperwork. Make sure that narrative going. Miss Teresa, I see your boo, so I'm going to tell these folks I saw that footage. She was alone and nobody wasn't down there with her. And what he said it from the start. What they planned it from the beginning. We gonna say it's an accident. Before Kenneka ever died, before she even went to the hotel, the people sat down, bro, and they had a meeting. Man, this how everything gonna go. We gonna say she walked in the freezer. You know what I'm saying, man? This your role to play. This what everybody role to play. You see what I'm saying? So boom. And once it was time, guess what? Miss Teresa must have had something else in mind. Cause everybody started falling out with her. The whole freedom fighters. You know what I'm saying? Fell out with Miss Teresa. Even Andrew Holmes. Look at all the people Miss Teresa started falling out with. It's like that she didn't need these people, you know what I'm saying, no more. Shit, it's too much money, you know what I'm saying, man. This payout gonna be too much money. Everybody can't get rich off this. You see what I'm saying? So boom. Look, listen to this.
Go back to years ago. Look down my timeline years ago. I've always been for my people. I've always helped my people, yo. But it has gotten too far. You know, as much as you try to put love out there and try to spread love among your people, they always tend to try to find a way to do something to slash you or to backbite you. My kids are in there, you know. This is their life that I'm living for now. This is their legacy that I'm living for. And I refuse to allow any of you guys to come and sabotage. That's exactly.
Look, like what you said, she didn't want everybody's hands in that pot like that, bruh. It's too many people was in on it. And it's like everybody started getting greedy. You know, everybody started getting greedy. You got Jedediah trying to go live and talking about, yeah, I know what's going on. And then you got him doing funeral. Look how everything played out. She already knew who was going to be preaching at the funeral, bruh. She set that up. She sat down with him and like, yeah, Mr. Teresa, we going to go over this. We going to go over that. Then we finna throw this, you know what I'm saying, and do this at the church. You see how she was standing all up, and when he would look, you see how she was all doing this extra at the church with her hands all in the air while he preaching. Everybody think he is hitting her soul, and you know what I'm saying? All this was an act, bro. Look.
Exactly what you've done. You put it where I have to step back now from the school because they have to perform an investigation, which I'm not worried about because it's going to come out. But still, the fact.
Investigation. Bruh, you can make claims all you want, but if the police get involved and put it up on the investigation, bruh. Them folk had some kind of reasonable doubt to put you upon investigation. Look.
Fact of the matter that I even have to go through this when all I do is help the young people because of ignorant people out here want to twist things for their own exposure, for their own fame, for their own, his name is Chosen King. They want to put this out there. Chosen King, I know you see me, and I know you're probably going to do another live video on me tonight. So people, if he don't see it, share this video so it can get to him. Because at this point, yo, dude, you're a liar. And you going around and you walking in Jesus' name, and you got these people following you under Jesus' name, under, oh, God is going to reveal these.
And look how they threw religions all around it. Miss Teresa got a phrase, but God. He a goddamn thunder-booted pastor. You see what I'm saying? Jedediah, you know what I'm saying, acting like he the Pope. Know what I'm talking about? Bruh, this is so dangerous. This is dangerous because this showing you a connection to some creepier than this. Look.
Sucker, you the main sucker that he needs to reveal. You the main person that he needs to tell. I wouldn't be surprised. Yo, but he is really trying to sabotage and he has already started, and these things that he's planning on me, saying that I'm a murderer for people who are on this live right now who know me personally. It's kind of crazy that you know these things, but the police don't. It's kind of crazy that, you know, all these people who grew up around me all my life know who I am and don't know any of these things that you speak of. But you sit and you call me a liar, and you call me a murderer, a child abductor. So at this point, I will be going forward and doing everything necessary for you, for every legal process that I can. I promise you, I'm going everywhere that I can. So you can be held accountable for this because you messed with the wrong one. Now, I promise you, I will not stop until you pay for the lives and the families and the people you have destroyed with this bullcrap that you are putting around in the media. You will be, I'm telling you, and this is, I don't make threats and I don't make any of that, but I promise you, you will be brought up to face all of these lies and the destruction that you have caused with these families. All this that you are saying, you can't prove anything. That's why you have conversations.
Look, that's why this what they do. When they were talking in the beginning, they just weren't showing proof with it. That's all it was, gang. Like how they were telling us in the beginning, they just didn't went over they just didn't gave us the proof. Well, the proof was already out. The investigation, the footage. You know what I'm talking about? Now you know that's not Kenneka on the footage. Now you see why Chosen King said it was a reenactment. She died way before the 9th. Then look what we discovered. Miss Teresa and them had the phone on the 9th. If her daughter was truly died on the 6th, you know what I'm saying? That's why nobody come verify like the liquor store. She didn't come here. You know what I'm saying? Nobody didn't came here. They ain't on that footage. But Miss Teresa telling everybody she left the house 11:30. But then Miss Teresa got the phone. Boom, doing all text messages before the narrative started out that she left the house at 11:30. That let you know that Miss Teresa already had the phone since when the girl died. So all that old text, you want to go to the show, girl, you know, where you with Monifa and all that, that's Miss Teresa and them, bruh. With Monifa and them. They went back up there to the hotel, bruh. Boom, whatever they went back up there to the hotel, bruh, and this thing, you know, that's when they start walking on footage, doing all this extra, you know what I'm saying? So boom. Now the girl, you know, they come up missing everything that came into play, right? Boom, boom, boom. They already got the 911 call for us, and it ain't even no dispatch. Now we figured this out, that it came from a police officer working at the precinct. She never did call 911. She called the people, front office manager, and that's why the police had the same voice on every call. So he was working overtime. You know what I'm talking about? So look, so boom, after all of this, Monique and them job was to boom, let's type this up, put this on the internet, because they already finna be screenshotting this. So boom, so when they put this up, people start screenshot, boom, look, they talking. Now this another narrative about the dudes in the room, and you know what I'm talking about, and all of this old story, right? Boom. So now they got us mind in the loop, like Monique set this up. Monifa set this up for her best friend to get killed. Now, you got to keep in mind, this how dumb it sound now, since we know the truth. Monifa wouldn't be able to set this up at nobody's birthday party. They're just like me. They're just like you coming to pick Trey Gang up right now, be like, Trey Gang, come to my party right quick. And then I come to you and set you up at your people party. That won't even go right. Then we were thinking that these people, you know what I'm saying, out from West, which they really is, but these people made it look like that these people were from the neighborhood, the police and them, yeah, they just from the neighborhood, and they were just throwing the party because it's Irene's birthday party. But the whole time, these people, you know what I'm saying, is related to the family, and the people that was involved is close friends that knew what was going on. You know what I'm talking about? So they knew and agreed to what was going on, and you know they didn't do this for free. You see what I'm saying? So that's why all of them started getting little money and shit. So boom, once they got started, you know, getting the money, the narrative out here messed up, everybody arguing, going against each other, Mr. Teresa using these Bible quotes on us, you know what I'm saying? You got Jedediah working on us with all these religions and going around and doing all of this and got everybody confused. Right? So now, boom. Now, guess what they did? Took the attention off the hotel about what was the real murder about, that the real setup was. And then they were trying to expose Crown Plaza, what they got up on the stir and all of this. It's a secret passageway, and I really believed it. And it were more victims. These people already said it were more victims in their hotel. They probably weren't there the night that Kenneka was. But what if you could trace some more people that went to that hotel probably months ago and never seen came out that junk? You see what I'm saying? How many people that went up missing and agreed to go to yeah, you want to get a room? Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not going to a sleazy hotel. Let's go to Crown Plaza and Rosemont. So you bringing a person up there, you ain't thinking nothing like this. Cause look what type of game they playing. You didn't see no third shift. Look on the footage. Look at the third shift, right? If you see September the 8th, right, you're going to see who worked on September the 9th on the third shift. Front desk Brian and the security guard French K. Them the only two you going to see when the shift change. It's just going to be them two working together. Don't even include the people that was cleaning with no uniform. They is not employees of a Crown Plaza. This a third party service. They gonna need to clean something up downstairs, right? Something happened downstairs. That's why you see them cleaning up down there. And them folks just told them people just clean the whole kitchen. Cause you want to look like, yeah, clean the sink, mop the floor, you know what I'm talking about, and all this. That's what they're gonna do. So boom, I wouldn't even be surprised that they been doing these, throwing little parties and having people lured to these parties and never be seen again. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? Look.
and you cut it off so you can put your input so people won't hear the whole conversation and take their own narrative. So you block the conversation off so you can input your own narrative on what it is, and so people can follow your ignorance, bro. And for the people who are following this dude, Lord, have mercy on your souls. God, I hope that you guys wake up and see him for just who he is. I hope, I pray to God that these people who are following you and following these things that you are saying, I hope to God they open up their eyes and because you are leading some people, brother, down to a path of hard, man. Because them speaking on me is crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling you, you guys gotta wake up and pay attention to the real devils, the ones that's sitting up here and trying to call out devils. Listen, this guy, he's a liar and he's a manipulator. And only thing that he's doing right now is to keep whoever, I don't know who can help me. Whoever, if you got any kind of way that can help me on the legal aspect to get this guy, I'm telling you, this guy is a liar. This guy, whoever got any kind of help that can help me bring legalness to him, please help me.
Come on, bro. Who gonna help you on that? You just got to go down there and do that yourself. How we could do it? Yeah, I call the detective. I call you a lawyer. The lawyer fee's gonna be this much and much. And you want witness protection program, nigga. They talking about this, man. You know what I'm talking about? Look, all of this is just entertaining the J4K community from the truth. Look, listen to this.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Bless, I hope and I pray.
And I'ma tell y'all like this. If you look at his mindset, he trying to give it an impression like he just a soft-spoken guy, look how he talk, hello guys, and he a thunderbooty. But every time he try to come on, you see how he try to have facial expressions along with his emotions that he trying to, so when he talk, you can catch the emotion like, man, this man here is, what I'm talking about. Look.
But just wanted to get on here real quick. Just want everybody to come on in. First of all, just want to clear up some things. Also, just wanted to be known. Hey, Delene. Hey, sister. Hey, how are you? What's up, sis? My other sister on here, Isha. What's up? What's going on?
Them might be them trans boys. Cause when that's how they be talking. Hey, sis. I don't even say that. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, sis. I don't even feel right saying it again. I felt a tingle just a moment. Man, hell no.
Everybody, hey, Kenya. Hey, Ernestine, Christy. Everybody, hey, much love to you all. Much love to you all. So, first and foremost, I'm going to give it a little time, but I want to clear up some things. And I also, hey, Aaron, how you doing? I also want to send some thank you. So inside of this live, hey, Deborah, inside of this live, Shakima, hey, Valerie, hey. Inside of this live is going to send some thank yous, and it's also going to clear up some things because just so much. But you guys will get the point in a minute. First and foremost, I would like to tell all of the organizers who have organized this weekend, it was a great success. It was very much so. Jennifer, I'm actually about to address some of the things that was said that he said to about myself and about the protest. So just give me a minute. But I want to send a great, hey Keisha B, great thank you to everybody who came out near and far, yo. And we, listen, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day and making this happen. And we are planning some other things behind the scene, so just give us a little bit. So we planning, and we'll let you guys know as we get everything organized and get everything situated. We'll let you know how, when the next event will be and what we're going to do. Okay, now that have sent out thank yous to everybody. Now let's get to the meat. Now let's get to the point. So much I have heard my name come out of this guy's mouth. And I'm talking to you, Jedediah, because I'm so tired. I have bit my tongue so much, and I have stepped back, and I have allowed the bullying. I have allowed people to say certain things about me. I have allowed it, and I have ducked it, and I have kept moving and going, not trying to pay attention to anything that anyone was saying. I wasn't trying to pay attention to the negativity. I wasn't trying to pay attention to what the people were saying. But as a man, there's certain boundaries that shall not be crossed and should not be crossed. And to the point where you have to be a man and you have to put that line there. You have to put that line there. So right now, I'm putting that line. And for everybody who knows me, listen, I'm about to say some things that may not be comfortable to your ears, but please forgive me. But now this is the time that I have to be a man, and I have to set these boundaries and let them know that I am a man, okay? I think that we did.
I think what he trying to say, like, yeah, like, I got to remind them I'm still a man. That don't mean nothing because we be doing that little zesty thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a boy, Damon. That's what I got out of that. You see what I'm talking about? They be doing good things, but they always remind each other, look, don't get this twisted because I be around here throwing ass. But I'm still a man, though. Look.
Awesome. I think victory, yes, we did. It was a victory. And the reason why it was a victory, because guess what we did? We succeeded with getting people checked out of the hotel. We brought awareness back to Kenneka's name. We got the news back out there, ABC News, and we got people checking out of the hotel left and right. And no one got arrested. No one went to jail. No one was aggressive. No one did any of these things. No one. So yes, it was victory. It was victory because we allowed her name to continue to ring in our mouth. Yes, it was a victory because we did not go to jail. Yes, it was a victory. It was a victory. It was a victory because we brought awareness, and we continue to bring awareness. And I'm so sick and tired of my name.
Look, I used to mess with a girl, and she talked just like this girl. She be on the phone. Hey, sis. Girl. Hey, I'm just saying hello, you guys.
Ain't been mentioning when the only thing that I do is step back and do what God has called me to do. So now let's define because on your live yesterday, I seen that you have called me out and said, oh, you're not a real advocate. You're not.
Oh, got him. He just did the neck. Look, he just did the neck thing, y'all. Y'all know how when they get, you know how when the female, you finna make that point and get the roll in that neck. Look, it's over with.
Let's define, because on your live yesterday, I seen that you have called me out and said, oh, you're not a real advocate. You're not this, or you don't know how to do this and you don't know how to do this. Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you one guy.
Now, that was a dead giveaway. Now, he did that. You know, when they do that, that mean they finna read Susu. Let me tell you something, bitch. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't just gonna say it like that, but if he was talking to that person, it's gonna, look here, bitch. Now, I gotta tell you motherfuckers, I'm still a fucking man. That don't mean cause we, you know what I'm saying, do I look girly. But when it come boiled down, bitch, I'm still a man, bitch. That neck roll, that neck roll, you could tell he do that all the time when he talk, when he around his, the zesty gang, you know what I'm talking about?
Goddamn thing. I never claimed to be an activist nor advocate. I claim to be someone that was designed and purposely put on this by God, not by you, not by people, not by anyone else but God. So guess what? I'm not proclaiming to be an advocate. And another thing is, if you are a true advocate, guess what will happen? If I have done something short or have fallen beside, then what a true advocate would do will reach out to me and call me and let me know, hey, man, this is the way you should go about it. But no, you don't do that. You sit and you create a moment for the vision. One thing that a true advocate does, is he do not create a platform of division for anyone. That's a true advocate. An advocate would not get up and bash anyone on social media. And I'm not bashing you. I'm stating facts, sir. And I want you to know the line of my manhood has been crossed. And listen, you guys caught me. You caught me at a very...
That's why they going live, so that they could be entertained, the crowd. Now, you could have just called and said, y'all different. Y'all ain't got to do all this. But y'all see what, you see how messy it got. That's why the Crown Plaza like, man, bro, cut all of this out. Even Miss Teresa called Zach and she said they want us to stop this. Miss Teresa said the same thing when she was on the radio station. They want us to stop this. And they asked her about the advocate. Now, Miss Teresa said he was an advocate. That's how he came at the protest, talking about he was an advocate. Him, Jedediah Brown, with Sheena. Look. Now Sheena made accusation to Jedediah about touching her kids, right? Then he was supposed to be the pastor, you know what I'm saying? They got a room there, he there trying to catch the police, they're talking about where her body at. We don't see no crime scene and we don't see no yellow tape and all of this, right? Bruh. Ooh, wee. So boom. So I started looking into the insurance thing. I said, that's what it was. It was insurance. That's why the whole team, like how y'all were watching the footage, y'all like, man, these folks done this before. And we all got that same vibe, right? So this the same pastor right here.
Even if you threw salt on my back, I promise you just dust the salt on my shoulder and love on you even harder. So I'm telling y'all, who are all listening to me, the God right now is telling you guys, obedience, love thy neighbor as God has loved the church. So when you go home, don't think of this ceremony as sending Kenneka home, sending it for a new shift that's about to take place. And if you don't love like you're supposed to, the train gonna leave you behind.
So watch this. Y'all want to know what's the real tea? Cause Crown Plaza paid for the funeral. So he got paid for these services. See that? Don't forget that Crown Plaza paid for all of this. He around there preaching and breathing all hard, wiping sweat off his forehead like he just been anointed. Look.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only.
So watch this. Look. Don't y'all know how digging I had to get this? I got all the list of names, bro, of the employees. Right? The names. Check this out. Here goes David Freeman. He's the member. These the people they ain't even want y'all to know nothing about. Right? So I'm going to give y'all the list of names. Here go Patty. Here go Sheriff Jacobs. Now, she the director and operator, you know what I'm saying, of Crown Plaza O'Hara. The general manager, Carlos. Then you got another general manager, Lean. Then you got director sales, Jilla. Sales manager, Danelle. You got Marley. Look. You got Joe, food and beverage outlet manager. Look. Y'all finna find out look, y'all wanna know what's that dude name that went back there and discovered the body? See what I'm talking about? Nobody don't know his name though. Watch this. If you do your research, guess who he is, bro? Look. 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 Y'all see this shit? Look, y'all see this? Who he look like? Who do he look like? Who do he look like, gang? What's his name? Watch this. What's his name? Look. Check it out. You got Steven. You got Richard. Man, look. The list goes on. Boom. Watch this. These are the people Andrew Holmes worked for. Now look, if you truly believe this got something to do with organ harvesting, you know what I'm saying? And that manager got a hotel that they chopping bodies in. Right? Think about this. Bill Murray showed up at the funeral. And it's his kitchen. Don't y'all know he just came out with a movie called Frozen Empire, another Gold Buster movie, right? So look, this the services Andrew Holmes worked for. Y'all remember when they were telling us about gang stalking? Cause that's what they do. They stalking. Watch this. These are the services. They do active shooters, background check, child abuse, neglect, criminal history, concealed carry, debugging, exclusive protection, employee interrogation check, human trafficking, internal theft, infidelity, kidnapping, missing people, malpractice, nursing home abuse, order protection, personal injury, Now let's look at this insurance fraud. Look, processing of service, runaways. You see what I'm talking about? Stalking, surveillance, undercover, trademark. Now look, we know King Rob wanted the trademark. They always said something about gang stalking, right? We all know the footage messed up, right? We all know human trafficking, right? Missing person, right? And personal injuries. Look, watch this. This the same company Andrew Holmes worked for. But look, then he came out in the beginning, told the news press conference when he was standing next to Jedediah Brown and that other activists talking about we all activists, we work for the same company. Cause y'all know Jedediah is a security guard, right? Y'all know Jedediah worked for a security company, right? Do y'all know what security company he worked for? Because if you find that out, you're going to see why he was an activist. Look. Check this out. If you believe the hotel owner, they got a hotel and people come up missing, you got to believe this story. Because if you don't, if I was an investigator and I did some real thorough research, just say, you know how police, when they put things together and they were like, look, now we need a warrant to go search the property. I get a warrant to go search Crown Plaza. I bet you gonna find what you looking for. I bet you gonna find what you looking for. You gonna find it. Look, H&H Holmes. Damn, I can't read that junk out loud.
killer, but the story we've all been told may not be completely true. Of the great mass of people staring up at the towering white structures in Chicago's Jackson Park.
Look, don't y'all know where that man hotel is located at? On 63rd. On 63rd. Look, y'all know where his murder, what he was doing? He had a hotel on 63rd, bruh. And over 300 folk came up missing with him. So, you mean to tell me this hotel owner from Crown Plaza ain't just like him?
Jackson Park and enjoying the sight of the world's first Ferris wheel, no one knows that the blue-eyed devil walks among them. His name, or rather, his latest name, is Dr. H. Holmes. There are millions of people, from all over the world, gathering in the United States' second-largest city to see the 1893 World's Fair, with the specially constructed White City Recreation Area at its heart. The White City's Greco-Roman marvels surround Jackson Park, with structures that are taller and more dazzling to the eye than most of its visitors have ever or will ever see again in their lifetimes. They were designed by the country's finest architects, such as Stanford White, Charles McKim.
Now keep this in mind, gang. Y'all know, look, y'all remember when King Rob was, I watched one of King Rob, and King Rob always said, yeah, y'all know right there about the elevators that Kenneka got off, that wall wasn't right there. And I was like, why he keep saying that wall wasn't right there? It didn't even make no sense, right? So nobody can't visualize when Kenneka get off on the elevator, that wall right there, it wasn't right there. So if it wasn't no wall right there, what was it? You see what I'm saying, gang? Now it's time to think, cause look, we know they put the hotel up on the construction. Never showed you the construction. So what they was construction on? Did they seal the area off to make it look like, now you can't go that way? Cause look at the story Andrew Holmes said. Yeah, how the way it is, once you go back there, ain't no other way you can get out. You see what I'm saying? Look.
McKim and Daniel Burnham, and its gardens and grounds crafted by Frederick Law Olmsted, the landscape architect who designed New York Central Park. Smithsonian Institution archives the White City of the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. Never had so much legendary architectural talent come together to collaborate on a project like this one, and scarcely would there ever be anything like it again. From all over the United States, people who would otherwise have lived and died in a small village in the Northeast or in a town nestled in a rocky mountain valley traveled great distances to see the White City. But whatever inspired them to come had not in any way prepared them for the breathtaking reality of it. Now and again, H. Holmes approaches a passerby, likely a young, attractive woman brought here by the gossip back home from someone who had already visited the White City or by a newspaper reporter who described its wonders. With more than 27 million people flooding in from around the world to see the fair, Holmes has plenty of women to choose from. With practiced courtesy, he offers her a room at his hotel nearby. Flattered at this handsome stranger's hospitality, she takes him up on the offer. Chicago History Museum. The Chicago World's Fair saw the first ever Ferris wheel, built for the event by George Washington Gale Ferris Jr. as America's answer to the Eiffel Tower, which was built for the 1889 Exposition Universelle in Paris, France. That night, as his newest victim settles into her rented room, her host scurries around in his secret passages and hallways, using every piece of the self-designed house for a macabre purpose. From within a secret hiding place behind a wall, Holmes turns a gas valve and watches as the sealed, airtight room containing his victim on the other side of the wall fills with deadly, suffocating gas. Before being brought to justice in November 1894, H. Holmes will have committed this gruesome act between 24 and 200 times. Or at least that's how the story goes. Listen above to the History Uncovered podcast, episode 98, The Truth Behind the Legend of H. Holmes and His Murder Castle, also available on Apple and Spotify. H. Holmes, a man of myth and mystery. Wikimedia Commons. H. Holmes, whose hotel was said to have been an elaborate murder mansion where 25 to 200 people may have been killed. Herman Webster Mudgett, who would rename himself Henry Howard Holmes, aka H. Holmes.
Don't y'all know why I'm showing y'all this? Cause most of his victims came by with family members. He was working with family members and they would stage an accident and get an insurance claim. And they will be switching bodies at the funeral and stuff. Look, he staged a murder just like Kenneka Jenkins, bro. Look, cause once you stage it, the family gonna get the payout. The doctor's gonna get the body. The doctor's gonna have the organs and all this. You know what I'm talking about? So you're gonna need to work with the police, doctors, you know what I'm talking about, and funeral homes. Cause you're gonna need to be linked with the funeral home, cause you don't want the funeral home to be like, wait a minute, what's going on here? This person something ain't right. So look, check it out, gang.
Holmes was a difficult man to truly know. Whether it was insurance fraud, quack medicine, fake inventions, or elaborate schemes to hide cash from creditors, no con was beneath him so long as there was money in it. He was a compulsive liar who rarely looked people in the eye, creating new names and backstories for himself to suit his purposes. Sometimes he was the son of an English lord. Other times he had a wealthy uncle in Germany. But what is mostly certain is that Holmes would kill 9 people in a series of increasingly desperate tricks and manipulations in the first half of the 1890s. So, why do so many people believe the real body count to be anywhere between 25 and 200? Wikimedia Commons, New York World's 1895 article on H. Holmes' Murder Castle, originating many of the modern myths.
And these people put this in the news of the layout because they discovered, like, man, he got a whole morgue down here. You see what I'm saying? Because what he did, he told investors, he got some investors together to get him some money, told him that he was building a furnace, a glassing furnace. And he would demonstrate to the investors, so they liked what they saw and gave him the money. But he was using that inferno to cremate bodies and dispose of the bodies and stuff. Now look,
Myths. The picture of H. Holmes that has been rendered unto history, a picture recently revived in Erik Larson's 2003 book The Devil and the White City, is the one that has existed since Holmes himself was alive. Dubbed a modern Bluebeard by William Randolph Hearst's New York World, Holmes had become a nationwide sensation by the time of his November 1894 arrest and 1895 trial, the first for insurance fraud, the latter for murder. He was America's answer to Jack the Ripper, whose grisly murders across the Atlantic had left readers spellbound 7 years earlier. A modern, urban monster for a modernizing and increasingly urban age, Holmes was, according to Chicago police, a new class of criminal, a man so monomaniacal about manslaughter that he turned his own hotel into a murder castle.
I'm going to stop it right there. So if you believe everything about that Crown Plaza owner, David Friedman, you believe this story. Look, you will believe this. Look how much money they can make off this alone. You're going to need crooked family that don't care about their kids and put them in a situation like this. Look. Watch this.
Castle. An apparently perfect image of evil in human form, said to believe he was actually turning into a devil while incarcerated. H. Holmes is often described today as America's first serial killer, an honorific taken from Harold Schechter's book about his crimes, Depraved. But, are this appellation and the story behind it accurate? And if not, where did they come from? In his 2017 book, H. Holmes, The True History of the White City Devil, author Adam Selzer attempted to answer these questions by studying newly digitized court records, police files, newspaper reports, and interviews previously unavailable to other authors. Ultimately, the details and discrepancies he uncovered raise serious questions about how much truth there is to the traditional tale of H.
Hey, I remember that. Remember when Little Meat told everybody, Little Meat said, yeah, it is true. He in the organ house. And the police, they heavily guard the basement area. That's what he said. And I believe every minute of it. I believe it, bruh.
H. Holmes. After examining the evidence, H. Holmes may still have been a monster, just not the devil we think we know. I was born with the devil in me. Herman Mudgett was born in Gilmanton, New Hampshire in 1861. Finishing school at age 16, Holmes became a teacher and soon set his sights on a local girl, Clara Lovering. Though Holmes convinced her and her family to consent to marriage, the relationship soured almost as soon as she became pregnant. At 19, Holmes then left New Hampshire to study medicine, abandoning Clara and their infant son, Robert. After first enrolling at the University of Vermont, Holmes left for the University of Michigan either to move farther away from his family or because of the latter curriculum's cutting-edge emphasis on human dissection. Accounts vary. Rumors and anecdotes from those who knew him at this time repeatedly mention his habit of stealing medical cadavers, both intact and in pieces. In one story told by his Burlington landlady, she noticed a foul stench in Holmes's room emanating from a dark object under the bed. Using the broom, she swept the object out and found that it was a dead baby. But according to his Michigan classmates, H. Holmes was quiet, serious, and somber. He didn't talk much and, though he was a bit strange, he appeared mostly harmless. YouTube Clara Lovering, H. Holmes' first of 4 wives, whom he abandoned to study to become a doctor. Apart from stealing the occasional corpse or foot, most people remembered that he was training to be a missionary in Zululand, a lie, and a few others vaguely recalled an incident with a local widow. In his last year of medical school, Holmes was sued for breach of promise, quite a serious crime at the time. His accuser claimed that Holmes proposed to her and consummated their relationship, only to have her later find out that he was already married. If true, the charges could have prevented him from graduating. When the case became public, many who knew Holmes in the faculty and student body felt this was out of character for him, including one Professor Herdman, who helped successfully defend him against expulsion in front of the school board. Later, after his graduation ceremony, Holmes told Herdman that the widow had been telling the truth. That moment, the professor later wrote, was the first positive evidence I had received up until that time that the fellow was a scoundrel, and I told him so at that time. It was only later that Herdman realized that H. Holmes had also attempted to burglarize his house on 2 separate occasions. The early criminal career of a promising young doctor. Depending upon who you ask, H. Holmes' more fatal games may have started in medical school. In his 1895 autobiography, Holmes' Own Story, Holmes claimed he and a Canadian classmate had plotted to steal cadavers from their laboratory and pass them off as other people to collect insurance money.
Ooh, now y'all heard that? Now think about, look, there was always came into play about Miss Teresa with this insurance fraud going on. So they brought it up. So we're going to look at this insurance fraud as this. Because they be stealing body. Now keep this in mind. They was always talking about, yeah, that's Kenneka. That ain't Kenneka in the casket. I believe there's Kenneka in the casket. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the freezer though, we don't even know who that is. They could be Kenneka or that could have been a fake body. Make it look like she was pulled out the freezer. You see what I'm saying? Cause now cause look at the outcome what Miss Teresa got. She got paid, the insurance people, cause it was the insurance company in the lawsuit. It's the insurance that was in the lawsuit, bro. And I ain't even know why would the insurance people would be in the lawsuit. But if you look at a loophole through it, it kind of makes sense.
The plan, in Holmes' retelling, centered around a certain local family, a man, a woman, and their young daughter, all of whom had been convinced to take out a life insurance policy. After the family had been convinced to leave town, Holmes and his accomplice would present 3 mutilated bodies of about the right ages and appearance, collect the money, and split the profits. They also agreed to split the work. Somehow in the middle of a national cadaver shortage, Holmes claimed to have found a body in Chicago, but his partner never followed through. He stored the corpse in a barrel where it remained until he moved to Chicago in 1886. By that time, It was so rotten that the only thing to do was bury it in his basement.
So if I had law enforcement background, if I was a detective, like a real federal agent detective, I'd get a search warrant for Crown Plaza and we're gonna go down there and see what's going on. It's too much evidence. It even shedding the light on Miss Teresa by them doing this insurance claim with this body, cause you know what I'm talking about. It gotta be, bruh.
At least, that's what he said when the police later found the human bones inside his house. Imager H. Holmes, University of Michigan graduation portrait. 1884. Following graduation, H. Holmes, still Herman Mudgett, set up in Moores Forks, New York, working 2 jobs as a doctor and schoolteacher. Though there are refuted reports of Holmes showing his students a severed foot or marrying a woman who then went missing, one perhaps true incident from this period is particularly striking.
Now you see how he a school teacher now, and you see how this fake pastor talking about he was an activist working at a school, and then they put him up on the investigation and trying to tell everybody Joseph King need to stop it with the lies. Look.
Striking. A Civil War veteran came into the office that Holmes shared with another doctor named Steele. He was near death from what he claimed was an old war wound and asked that the physicians perform an autopsy to eventually confirm this in order to secure a military pension for his wife. Holmes enthusiastically agreed. When the man died, Holmes successfully located the bullet that had been lodged in his chest for more than 20 years. He then removed the bullet, along with the dead man's shattered ribs, and refused to hand them over unless Steele paid him for them. Steele, who already had enough evidence to confirm the nature of the injury and cause of death, refused. As far as Steele knew, Holmes kept the ribs. It's possible Steele had his own reasons for telling the story. In their last interaction, Holmes asked to borrow money for a train ticket to Chicago. He never returned to pay back the debt, but he did leave other things behind. One was a box containing all mementos left over from his life up to that point. The other was the name Herman Mudgett. How H. Holmes bought and built his murder castle. Wikimedia Commons H. Holmes murder mansion. Though there are rumors that as many as 200 people were gruesomely killed within its walls, doubts are starting to be raised about whether Holmes was the devil he has been made out to be. Why he chose the name H. Holmes has garnered speculation over the years. Several authors have suggested he was inspired by the popular Sherlock Holmes detective stories, but this is false. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's stories were enormously popular at the time of his 1894 arrest, but Sherlock Holmes first appeared in print in 1887's A Study in Scarlet, and an American edition was not published until 1890. The name H. Holmes appears in Illinois newspapers and legal documents as early as 1886, when the new arrival took, and passed, a government test to practice pharmacy in the state. After arriving in Chicago in 1886, Holmes visited Dr. E.S. Holton's pharmacy on 63rd and Wallace in Englewood. In Larson's Devil in the White City, the scene is sketched in vivid detail. The elderly Dr. Holton lays on his deathbed upstairs as Mrs. Holton eagerly sells the building to the young, handsome doctor, even though he cannot pay all at once. Murderpedia. The layout of the second and third floors of H.H. Holmes Hotel, with the suspected purpose of each room, according to the press.
Then when you look at it like this, look how they got the layout in the newspaper. Look at Kenneka investigation, the same receipts. We gonna need the layouts. You see what I'm saying? We gonna need a narrative. But this case got exposed. And you know what I'm talking about? It's just like a drug dealer. You know, like if you got a kingpin drug dealer go to jail and they lock him up away and throw away the key, eventually somebody else gonna come along and take over. And I believe that's what Crown Plaza coming in there.
Press listed. Shortly after the building was rechristened under H.H. Holmes' name, neighbors asked what happened to Mrs. Holton, who had apparently gone missing. Holmes tells them she moved to California, but Larson, as well as other authors.
Now look at the trail that he left. He traced back to New York and California. Now look how everybody on the Kenneka Jenkins case ran to California. You see what I'm saying? Look at the security guard went to California. Look in the paperwork when they were calling people that was on them room. Cause don't y'all know, I believe they had that whole 9th floor book. So look, boom. Hold on, let me
Authors strongly imply that he killed her and possibly Dr. Holton as well. But what only Selzer seems to have noticed is
I'm glad that you said so. If they into that means they in cannibalism. So look, that's why Irene made that post talking about I almost ate some. And nobody didn't even know what she was talking about, but the people knew, you know what I'm saying? But the outside people just taking it like it was a joke. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, these people don't read between the lines no more. Social media that messed up that these people just, man, my God.
noticed is that Dr. E.S. Holton was not an old man. She was a young woman. Dr. Elizabeth Sarah Holton was pregnant at the time of Holmes' arrival and apparently jumped at the chance to get off her feet. By the time reporters and investigators were interested in H. Holmes and his infamous building, if the former owners were thought of at all, they were assumed to be other victims. In actuality, Dr. and Mr. Holton were alive and well a few blocks away. After acquiring the two-story building, Holmes began a series of renovations. The most notable for those already familiar with the story are probably the so-called secret passages, false walls, dummy elevator shaft, trap doors, basement crematorium, and, eventually, a third floor outfitted with rooms to house World's Fair attendees. Did H. Holmes ever actually run a hotel? Image the reported layout of the second floor of the murder mansion of H. Holmes. Because it was right above the businesses below, could this floor consist just storage space? In Devil in the White City, Eric Larson states that Holmes began advertising his new World's Fair Hotel in 1893. However, extant digitized newspapers and the State of Illinois Historical Newspaper Archive have no record of such a hotel. In fact, according to Chicago civil case documents, While Holmes did build the third floor to function as a hotel, it never actually functioned as one. Before the hotel could open, Holmes' creditors, his constant adversaries, repossessed the furniture he'd purchased, meaning the level was empty apart from his office and a large asbestos-lined vault. It's possible some particularly desperate fairgoers could have stayed there, but it seems unlikely and would have had to happen within an incredibly small window of time. At the height of the World's Fair on August 13, 1893, a fire, possibly started by Holmes to collect an insurance payout, destroyed the third floor and forced the evacuation of the entire building. In a statement to reporters by one of Holmes' tenants, he said everyone made it out of the building safely, listing each of the residential and commercial tenants on the first 2 floors, notably a tailor, a pharmacist, and a jeweler. Neither a hotel nor any hotel guests were mentioned. Wikimedia Commons Holmes Englewood Castle on 63rd and Wallace with its partially destroyed third floor. 1896. As to why Holmes would try adding a hotel to his building, it's surprisingly not out of character. During his time at 63rd and Wallace, Holmes ran a variety of strange businesses and get-rich-quick schemes out of the building, quack cures for alcoholism, a copy machine company, and a glass-bending studio to supply Chicago's new skyscraper boom utilizing converted furnaces as kilns. But even if the central part of Holmes' story involving his running of a hotel during the fair is inaccurate, the doctor was still a devil in his own right. In addition to his habit of defrauding creditors, inventing aliases, generally figuring out how to commit every kind of fraud, and committing bigamy, Holmes was indeed a murderer. The True Crimes of Holmes. Not long after arriving in Chicago, Holmes met Myrta Belknap of Minneapolis while she was in the city on business. Following a quick courtship, he convinced her parents to let them marry, sweetening the deal by buying them a house. Holmes, briefly reverting to Herman Mudgett, filed for divorce against Clara Lovering, claiming she had committed adultery. And while Holmes did marry Belknap, he did not see his divorce through to its conclusion. It is unclear whether or not Belknap and Holmes married legally or simply had a religious ceremony, but before 1890, the couple was living together in Wilmette with their new daughter, Lucy. Just as with Lovering, however, whatever affection Holmes may have had for his new wife faltered soon after his daughter's birth. He took up residence at his office and his visits back to Wilmette became rarer and rarer. This is when the Connors arrived. Ned Connor, a jeweler, his wife, Julia, and their daughter, Pearl, took up residence at Holmes' Wallace Street building in 1890. Murderpedia illustration of Julia and Pearl Connor, whom Holmes confessed to killing. Offered a chance to buy the building, Connor excitedly agreed, only to discover it came with certain strings attached. For one, Holmes neglected to tell him how much debt the store was in, debt Ned Connors now owned along with the location. Second, his marriage with Julia quickly fell apart with a surge of fighting leading to divorce, which was still uncommon at the time. When he realized that Holmes and Julia were sleeping together, he began to wonder whether Holmes had implicitly offered him a trade, the store for his wife. Ned moved out and sold Holmes the store back relatively quickly. What exactly Julia thought of all this remains uncertain. In addition to the loans and business holdings he kept under his own name, his various aliases, Belknap's name, and Belknap's mother's name, Holmes had now added Julia to his list of responsible parties. But some time after that, Julia and Pearl, common sights around the Wallace Street building, suddenly disappeared. Holmes said they had gone to visit family, but they were never seen again. The missing Miss Sigrand. Emmeline Sigrand was next. A beautiful young secretary and typist at a rival alcoholism clinic, Sigrand likely met H. Holmes through his frequent accomplice and business partner, Ben Pitzel, whom Holmes had sent for treatment at the center. However he learned of her, Holmes soon offered her double her current salary to work with him. When exactly their relationship turned intimate is unclear. It was technically a secret, but several residents of the house had their suspicions. Shortly before Christmas 1892, Mrs. Lawrence, another of Holmes' tenants, had her last encounter with Sigrand. The younger woman offered her an early present and spoke in vague terms about the future, leading her neighbor to ask if she was leaving her job and possibly Chicago. Sigrand said maybe, and seemingly vanished after that. A concerned Mrs. Lawrence then asked Holmes what he knew about her whereabouts. Miss Sigrand, Holmes said, had married her fiancé Robert Phelps, whom no one had ever met or heard of before, and had left the city on her honeymoon, quite possibly to never return. The Indianapolis News and Illustration of Emmeline Sigrand, a young stenographer who Holmes is said to have murdered. He produced a wedding card from his pocket, suspiciously typewritten instead of in the more traditional printed fashion, and Mrs. Lawrence felt uneasy. Surely, she thought, Sigrand would have told her about such a serious romance or said goodbye before leaving. Apparently, Holmes did not like that answer. However, he did not kill Mrs. Lawrence. Instead, a few days later he returned with a newspaper clipping reporting the wedding of Emmeline Sigrand to one Robert Phelps. It began. The bride, after completing her education, was employed as a stenographer in the county recorder's office. From here she went to Dwight, and there from Chicago, where she met her fate. Although at the time no one suspected Holmes in Sigrand's disappearance or of having written the newspaper announcement himself, in hindsight, it seemed, and seems, the most likely explanation.
Look, he even used the newspaper, meaning back in those days, they were using the newspaper, they ain't have social media and all this. So he was using the media, bruh. He was using the media, trying to put a narrative out there. Ain't that's what the same thing the news did on the Kenneka Jenkins case? They used the news media on us.
Explanation. In addition to noting the dual meaning of met her fate, Mrs. Lawrence later testified that sometime after Sigrand's disappearance she witnessed Holmes, Pitzel, and another associate named Patrick Quinlan moving a heavy trunk from the third floor out of the building. By that point, she was almost certain it contained the body of Emmeline Sigrand. The unfortunate Williams sisters. The Williams sisters came after that. H. Holmes met Minnie Williams on business in Boston sometime in the 1880s and saw two things he liked. Already a wealthy orphan, Minnie Williams could expect to inherit another small fortune after the death of her elderly guardian. Furthermore, Williams, often described as plain, could be flattered and manipulated easily. Using the name Howard Gordon, Holmes swept Williams off her feet, gaining such control over her and her finances that she signed away several of her real estate holdings to him and moved to Chicago in 1893. To limit complications, Howard explained that for business reasons, people called him H. Holmes in Illinois. Like many before and after her, for some reason, she believed him. The two married soon after her arrival. No record of this marriage, Holmes' third, is listed in the Cook County archives. While it could have been lost, it's likely that Holmes simply arranged a sham ceremony. Click Americana Minnie Williams, another of H. Holmes' wives, who went missing and is believed to be another of his victims. After their father's death, different relatives raised Minnie Williams and her sister Nanny, who was sometimes incorrectly called Anna, a name she never went by in life. Minnie grew up in Boston while Nanny lived in Alabama. The two maintained a correspondence, but once Minnie's letters mentioned her recent marriage to a handsome, rich, and charming doctor, they arranged for a reunion in Chicago. In one of the few known instances where H. Holmes went to the World's Fair, he treated the sisters to a day's visit in celebration of his sister-in-law's arrival. Nanny was skeptical of Howard at first, finding him much less attractive than Minnie had described, but the more time she spent in his company, the more she understood why her sister wanted to stay with him. As far as we know, neither of them ever left. A second southwestern castle? Nanny disappeared first. That much is certain. Then H. Holmes traveled to Fort Worth, Texas with Minnie in tow to take possession of some land she held there leftover from her family's estate.
Now we in Texas. Now we know about Straight Drop, Tiffany Draper, then you got Miss Teresa Sousa from Texas. And you got that lady, she got money, she into the entertaining business, she from Texas. Miss Teresa people. Look, check this out. I remember when King Rob used to always tell about the famous trip they took to Texas and what they was doing in Texas. Look.
Estate. Ben Pittezel joined them, assisting Holmes in the construction of a new building, modeled to be an identical duplicate of the Chicago drugstore, secret passages, and all. Holmes' scheme here is unclear. While it's tempting to say that he wanted to build a second murder hotel, this theory has a few problems. In addition to the likelihood that it was not a functional hotel, Holmes' building in Chicago may not have had secret passages at all. These features could easily have been storage spaces to hide excess stock and a hidden back staircase to allow employees to travel between the floors unseen. Some employees, by the recollection of Ned Connor, occasionally even slept in the so-called hidden chambers. Considering Connor was then openly wondering whether Holmes had killed his ex-wife and daughter, this testimony in Holmes' defense should have considerable weight. If he said there were no secret passages, there's reason to believe that there were, in fact, no secret passages. It's also worth noting that during the time Holmes was supposed to be busy luring fairgoers to their deaths, he was several states away. Wikimedia Commons Benjamin Pitzel, Holmes' longtime partner and eventual victim. Circa 1890s. Holmes left Texas not long after the new building was finished. If he'd intended to build another lethal lair in Fort Worth, his departure would have made no sense. But it does match another motive. Although H. Holmes did not build the Englewood murder castle, he only remodeled it. Many researchers suggest his habit of hiring and firing builders stemmed from his desire to keep its exact layout secret.
Now y'all can make sense why they were saying the hotel was up under construction, but never show you no construction site. Look.
Secret. However, he did the same thing in Fort Worth and apparently never intended to live there. In both cases, the construction projects were just another con. Borrowing from multiple banks and commissioning work with IOUs, Holmes amassed a great deal of laundered money while distracting his creditors with the progress on the building. Once the structure was finished, he left Texas. It appears Minnie Williams, however, did not. Murderpedia, click Americana illustrations of Minnie, left, and Nanny, right, Williams, who disappeared and whose bodies were never found. Several witnesses later testified to seeing Minnie Williams after this period. However, almost none of them knew her, and Holmes later admitted to paying Patrick Quinlan's wife to impersonate the missing woman. Minnie and Nanny Williams' bodies were never found.
Bruh, why is this sounding just like Kenneka, bruh? Look. He hired people to personate her and everything. You know what I'm saying? I used to look at these people crazy when they said there wasn't Kenneka on the footage. I used to look at these people crazy when they said it, but the whole time, bro, that was for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? That was for real, bro. Look at all the similarity. Insurance fraud, switching bodies, paying family members, staging. Come on, bro. You could stage an accident because the family gonna benefit through the insurance company. And they both gonna take cuts. You know what I'm talking about? Look.
Found. H. Holmes' murder of the Pitzel family. Before returning to Chicago, H. Holmes was arrested in Colorado on fraud charges and spent the end of 1893 in prison. After his release, in January 1894, Holmes met and extra-legally married his fourth and final wife, Georgiana Yoke, while using the name Mr. H.M. Howard. This time, Holmes explained that his wealthy uncle had left him a great deal of land in his will on the condition that he adopt the dead man's name. Yoke apparently had no problem believing this, but she also had no way of knowing that Holmes' land had been inherited from Minnie Williams. Meanwhile, Ben Pitzel, his wife Carrie, and their children Desi, Howard, Nellie, Alice, and Wharton had moved to St. Louis, Missouri. In 1894, Holmes contacted Pitezel asking him to purchase life insurance so they could fake his death with a medical cadaver. Pitezel agreed and the pair traveled to Philadelphia, but not before explaining the plan to Carrie. Unfortunately for Ben Pitezel, this time, after many capers in which they'd been partners, H. Holmes was playing him. Once in Pennsylvania, Pitezel grew impatient waiting for his partner to find a body. To pass the time, he started drinking. Then, Holmes started pouring him shots. Perhaps Holmes had planned to do it all along. Perhaps he was frustrated by Pitezel's alcoholism. In either case, once the other man passed out, Holmes gave him a lethal dose of chloroform. Using an oil lamp, he singed Pitezel's hair and clothes before smashing the chloroform bottle on the floor. For some reason, he had decided to make it look like his partner had died in an accidental explosion. He did a terrible job, but the Pennsylvania coroner bought it. Public Domain A newspaper illustrator's depiction of H. Holmes staging Ben Pitezel's accidental death.
Bruh, man, golly. Somebody is a fan of H Holmes and doing the same thing that inspired him. So, look, the money had to be so good because it's benefiting the states. Cause the states making money, you know, cause it's drawing a lot of attention. His business booming, you know what I'm talking about. And then it makes sense when you get these services that Andrew Holmes, look, human trafficking, personal injury, missing person, surveillance footage. Come on, bruh. Still pornography. You know what I'm talking about? Photography, goddamn it. I can't even get my words out. I'm over here like the trademark. Come on, bruh. This is smoke screen. This is a smoke screen. Look, total protection. Come on now. These people could be the ones that's causing all of this. They got all these missing people files. They are, come on. Come on, bro. Come on. Don't turn your head on this now. Cause, look. Why? Come on, bro. These gotta be crooks. Bro, these gotta be crooks, bro. Man, they only picture you ain't seeing is Andrew Holmes. You see what I'm saying? And once you look at their security, where their security team at? Let me find their security team. Man, I had the security team on. But y'all get the point, right?
Death. Circa 1890s. In order to collect the money from Fidelity Mutual Insurance, Holmes needed Carrie or another member of the Pitzel family to identify Ben's body. He sent a letter to St. Louis asking Carrie to come, explaining that it was, of course, a ruse. Unwilling to leave her infant son, Carrie Pitzel sent her 15-year-old daughter Alice to Holmes by train. They never saw each other again. Alice, on the verge of relative adulthood, disliked the arrangement. Although Ben Pitzel and Holmes had worked together for years, Holmes was still a stranger to the rest of the family. Things went from bad to worse, however, when Holmes brought Alice into the coroner's office where a few sheets of cloth and paper were all that separated her from her father's blackened, rotting corpse. Murderpedia Benjamin Pitzel, longtime accomplice of H. Holmes, would eventually become his victim, along with 3 of his children. With encouragement from Holmes, she was able to identify the body by its teeth, and Fidelity Mutual Insurance agreed to issue a check of $7,200 to Carrie Pitzel in St. Louis. Holmes then informed Carrie that Ben owed him $5,000, a debt she quickly paid. Now that he had his money, 2 final problems presented themselves. First, the Pitzel family knew too much for H. Holmes' comfort. Second, they believed that Ben Pitzel was still alive. Thinking quickly, Holmes asked Carrie to send 2 more of her children to him in Philadelphia. Ben was hiding in Cincinnati, Ohio, but a visit from such a large, conspicuous, and recognizable group of people traveling together would draw too much attention and blow the entire plan.
Bro, y'all hearing this? Now, this ain't a cold shim going on, bro. Cause look, they even, y'all know at one point in time they were trying to say Kenneka was still alive. You know what I'm talking about? Then they were talking about she witness protection program and you know all of that stuff. But I'm like, man, but when I think about this, I think about the hotel owner, knew Miss Teresa and them. They came up with an insurance scam about Kenneka, bro. And then when it actually happened, things went left on social media. Cause it looked like what it looked like to us. You see what I'm saying? We like, wait a minute, bruh. We don't normally see this, but this looking like human trafficking at its finest. We're organ harvesting. You know what I'm talking about? Look.
It was then that Carrie sent her son Howard, age 8, and daughter Nellie, age 11, to join Alice and Holmes in Pennsylvania. She and her 2 remaining children, the eldest, Desi, and the youngest, baby Wharton, would wait a little longer before heading out to meet them. Click American illustrations of the Pitzel children, Alice, Howard, and Nellie, who were all murdered by H. Holmes. What follows is a dizzying display of Holmes' cunning intelligence and inhuman cruelty, but even he seems to have suffered the consequences of some of his actions. According to Yoke's later testimony, Holmes suffered from chronic nightmares during this period, apparently haunted by the sight of Ben Pitzel's rotting corpse. But from September 28 to November 17, 1894, Holmes successfully juggled navigating 8 people in 3 separate groups, Holmes and Georgiana, the 3 Pitzel children, and a third group with Carrie Pitzel, her baby, and Desi, across much of the Midwest and into Canada. Without anyone else knowing what he was doing or where the other parties were. They traveled from Cincinnati, Ohio to Indianapolis, Indiana, then to Detroit, Michigan, then to Toronto, Canada, then to Ogdensburg, New York. Whenever the parties arrived in a new city, Holmes would tell Carrie that her husband had just skipped town and had left instructions to meet him somewhere else. As time went on, they kept losing members. "Howard is not with us," Alice wrote in an undelivered letter to her mother soon after reaching Detroit. It's unclear what H. Holmes had told the children to stop them from questioning their brother's absence, but they seemed to be unconcerned. Instead, Alice complained about the increasing cold, her homesickness, and how much she wished to see her mother and baby brother. What she could not have known was that her mother, baby Wharton, and Desi were staying 3 blocks from their hotel in the same city. The girls were last seen in Toronto. Click Americana Carrie Pitzel sent her children ahead of her in the belief that they were joining their father, but they were instead being killed by H. Holmes to cover up the murder of Ben Pitzel. Carrie Pitzel and her group eventually arrived in Vermont on Holmes' instructions. After repeatedly attempting to have Carrie send him her other children or move to another city, Holmes finally visited in person. When this proximity did not improve his persuasion, he descended into the basement where he did a bit of digging before leaving. Later, Carrie Pitzel found a note telling her to go down there. When she did, she nearly avoided a hole that had been dug down there with a precariously placed bottle of nitroglycerin. Later, she would come to believe this was Holmes' attempt to kill her as well. Although Holmes was by that point quite paranoid about pursuers, he did not realize that the Fidelity Mutual Insurance Company had been following him and the Pitzels for weeks. While he was out of their jurisdiction in Canada, by returning to the U.S., he had opened himself up to arrest. The arrest of H. Holmes. Chicago History Museum. H. Holmes shown in the mid to late 1890s. It's possible that H. Holmes suspected something was coming just before his capture. For unclear reasons, after visiting Carrie Pitzel, he returned to Gilmanton, New Hampshire and reunited with his wife, Clara, his now 15-year-old son Robert, and his parents. He explained that a terrible accident 8 years earlier had given him amnesia. In the hospital, he received the name H. Holmes and had eventually fallen in love with and then married his nurse Georgiana before remembering his life as Herman W. Mudgett. Although this was perhaps his worst tall tale in a long line of them, for some reason, they believed him. It seems likely that, no matter the improbability of the story,
Bro, that was a cold story. He went back and told his family. He said he was in the accident. He had amnesia, didn't know. He started a new life, and come on, bro. One time out.
Holmes' old loved ones wanted to believe this more comforting version of events. But Holmes left not long after telling this tale to pursue business in Boston, though he promised he would return soon to pick up his life where he left off. He may have even meant it, for once, but Holmes would never return to New Hampshire again. On November 17th, Holmes was arrested in Boston, initially charged with horse theft stemming from accusations back in Texas. Then the charges quickly escalated to insurance fraud, to which Holmes confessed. In his changing stories, Holmes said that he had intended to defraud the insurance company by passing off a cadaver as Ben Pittisel, but his partner killed himself before they could proceed. He said he then staged the scene to look like an accident to try and secure the money for his family, since Fidelity was under no obligation to pay in the event of suicide. Wikimedia Commons Philadelphia Police Detective Frank Geyer, the man who took down H. Holmes. He also claimed that the Pittisel children were alive and well, traveling with his old friend Minnie Williams, who may have taken them to London. Carrie Pittisel was also arrested for her part in the fraud scheme. She did, after all, know about the plan.
So if you look at that situation with Miss Teresa and the hotel owner agreeing to this insurance scheme with the bodies, bro, you just broke the biggest case in the world. You see what I'm saying? Hi y'all, appreciate the Cash App gang. It's no way that you can believe that the owner that's in the organ harvesting got a hotel linked to these different states, and you could just and you got this H&H home with the same background. You could even tell that they was using the same insurance fraud right today. It's the same scam. It's the same thing, bro. What's different about it? So it's look like they know his whole operation, and they took, just say like the owner know that, man, look, I need somebody there sell out their family member. You got Miss Teresa there. Boom, next thing you know, Kenneka Jenkins case don't open it up. I believe God sent Kenneka here for us to see this. You see what I'm saying? This what make her death so unique, gang. Because what if God putting this in our face for us to see that this is what's actually going on? So people could come together and put a stop to it, y'all. You see what I'm saying?
Plan. While the two sat in prison in Philadelphia, police back in Chicago started searching H. Holmes' Englewood building, and in Indianapolis, Philadelphia Police Detective Frank Geyer set off in pursuit of the Pittisel children. All the skeletons unearthed. In a tale of two very different investigations, Geyer and an Inspector Gary from Fidelity Mutual checked hotel records and spoke to boarding house proprietors and renters who might have seen a group matching the description of H. Holmes and the children. Murderpedia, the jaw, bones, and teeth of Howard Pittisel, discovered after H. Holmes' arrest. In Englewood, the Chicago police and dozens of reporters flooded into Holmes' basement, accidentally causing an explosion when one worker's candle set off fumes from an old fuel tank. Geyer and Gary then tracked down a house Holmes had rented in Toronto. Upon entering the basement, they discovered a soft patch of earth on the dirt floor and started digging. At the bottom of the shallow pit was a trunk that matched Carrie Pitzel's description of the one she'd packed before the children had left St. Louis. Inside were the naked, rotting corpses of Alice and Nellie Pitzel. When Holmes heard of the discovery, he is supposed to have said, "Well, I suppose they'll hang me for this." In Chicago, newly invigorated police and reporters began discovering all manner of incredible things while searching H. Holmes' basement. A tank of strange chemicals, later proved to be crude gasoline, was clearly a vat for stripping the flesh from skeletons, they said, while the strange furnace with its molding kiln surely must have been a crematorium. A scratched-up bench with some stains became a dissection table, and a stained piece of rope found in Patrick Quinlan's toolbox was obviously a noose used to hang victims in the dummy elevator shaft, regardless of Quinlan's insistence that there was nothing sinister about it. Public domain newspaper illustrators' depiction of Holmes murdering Alice and Nellie Pitzel. Circa 1890s. This isn't to say that the investigation found nothing. Digging down into the basement floor eventually did uncover a stash of human bones preserved with quicklime. They probably belonged to a child of about 8 to 10 years old, investigators determined, but they had decayed so badly it was hard to identify them further. Considering that this was the age of the missing Pearl Connor, investigators initially felt certain that they had found evidence against Holmes that would stick. Though he claimed there was an innocent explanation, he had simply buried a rotting cadaver. Meanwhile, a review of the contents of the basement stove uncovered bits of fabric and a watch chain, the latter of which was identified as having belonged to Minnie Williams. Also in the stove, investigators found what were believed to be heavily burned human bones, but upon inspection were bits of fired clay and the remnants of turkey. But regardless of what the truth,
y'all remember when Miss Teresa made that story about the blood on the freezer door, talking about the officer told her, yeah, that could be turkey blood. Out of all things, turkey blood. You ain't say nothing about chicken blood, you know what I'm saying? None of that. So it just be little key things like that stick out to me.
truth was, the fantastical stories quickly took hold and didn't let go. Chicago lost its collective mind. Suddenly, dozens of people claimed they had either worked for Holmes, been approached by him to take out life insurance, or narrowly avoided death during stays at the Wallace Street building. In one of the more striking examples, a man named Myron Chappell told police he had worked with Holmes articulating skeletons for sale to medical schools, strongly implying that he had helped dispose of all the supposed bodies. Although often repeated as truth today.
Check this out. With that being said, some of those skeletons that be in these schools and these colleges could be murder victims sold on the black market. And that's why sometimes you don't find those missing people. Because they could be somewhere in somebody's office as an exhibit. or for somebody personal pleasure. Cause you know you got people that buy these cadavers and hang them up in their house. You know what I'm saying? Have them up for furniture and stuff. You see what I'm saying? You got some people that's on it.
Today, this story quickly fell apart back in 1895. According to Chappelle's own son, his father was drunk and insane, but the Chicago Police Department dismissed such concerns and took the testimony seriously. And when it came out that Chappelle was in fact lying, police were so embarrassed by this and other setbacks, they stopped interviewing further witnesses or investigating other sites where H. Holmes may have operated. Click Americana, a 1937 newspaper illustration of what the H. Holmes crime scene investigation may have looked like. In fact, in Chicago, the police never found enough evidence to charge Holmes in any crime despite searching the castle from top to bottom. In Ohio, however, Geyer and Gary finally found something substantial in their search for Howard Pitisel. One neighbor recalled seeing a moving truck arrive at the vacant house next door occupied by a boy, a man, and an enormous stove. After she asked their neighbors what the new arrivals could possibly want with such a large oven, Holmes arrived at her front door to say he had decided not to take the house after all and that she could keep the stove if she wanted it. Apparently suspicious of his neighbor's attention, Holmes had abandoned his plan in Ohio. In Indianapolis, he had run into no such problems. After locating the house Holmes had rented there, Geyer and Gary discovered that Holmes had had an identical stove installed during his brief stay. Inspecting the inside, they found scraps of clothing, burned photographs, several human teeth, and the top of a skull belonging to a prepubescent boy. Public domain newspaper sketch of Ben Pitisel's skull and Howard Pitisel's skull fragments, kept in a prosecutor's office. These fragments would join Ben Pitisel's skull in a box beneath the desk of Holmes' lead prosecutor. With no doubt that H. Holmes had murdered the 3 Pitisel children, his trial took place in Philadelphia. Executing a boogeyman. From prison, H. Holmes had written and published his memoir, Holmes' Own Story, through outside agents in the attempt to garner sympathy and aid in his defense. While this and his newfound infamy in the press made jury selection more difficult, Holmes' case was further compromised when the judge ruled that his trial would start as soon as possible. Murder PDH. Holmes wrote his own account of the murders in an attempt to garner support during his trial. The prosecution had spent the better part of a year gathering witnesses from around the country, but the defense would have less than a month to prepare. To make matters worse, his lawyers soon quit and Holmes agreed to act as his own attorney. But much to the amazement of court attendees, he was rather good at it, perhaps thanks to all the practice he'd had being sued in Chicago. Although his attorneys would eventually return, several things nevertheless doomed Holmes. More damning even than the actual evidence marshaled against him were the emotional appeals played out before the jury. A weakened, traumatized Carrie Pitisel's testimony, for example, brought the entire courtroom to tears. Georgiana Yoke, found by the judge to not be Holmes' legal wife, coldly testified against him, causing Holmes to break down sobbing in open court before half-heartedly cross-examining her himself. Public domain Georgiana Yoke sketched during her testimony by an artist from the New York World. In one small victory, Holmes' lawyers successfully argued that the case at hand centered only on the question of whether or not he had killed Ben Pitzel in Philadelphia, and not what had happened to the Pitzel children or anyone in Chicago. Despite this, and the fact that the evidence of Ben Pitzel's murder was circumstantial at best, the jury quickly convicted Holmes and he was soon sentenced to hang. Although the story may have started in Chicago, William Randolph Hearst's papers and others like the New York World wrote the Holmes legend as most of us know it today.
And these people calling him a legend, bruh. You see what I'm saying? Now look. Look at all the money he was bringing in for the college kids, the doctors. And look what the family would, look at the people they was in on, look at the money they were receiving. Man, this better than the dope game. You see what I'm saying? Man, this just to show me how smart bro was, bro. If any time that you could, man, look, if any time you could do some stuff like this, bro, and man, look.
This largely began with the 1895 article, The Castle of a Modern Bluebeard, which included for the first time mentions of Holmes stalking his victims on the grounds of the World's Fair, and also provided maps of each floor of the Englewood building, labeling rooms with names like Torture Chamber. Wikimedia comments the execution of Holmes as sketched by a newspaper artist. With this first article proving enormously popular and soon being reprinted around the country, the New York World built a relationship with Holmes, first allowing him to send them columns throughout his trial and then, after his conviction, paying as much as $7,500 for his full confession.
Look, he still getting money. He done sold books. He's selling people he's selling his confection. Man, bro, really about his money, bro. Even if he about to die, he still want that bread, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be out your mind. You finna sell. What you gonna do with the money? Ain't like you could spend it. So it's just like, yeah, pay me for the money. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't just about the money. It's just all about him making deals. He got a problem with making deals. That's his addiction. Like, he don't care how he get the money, you know what I'm saying? He know he ain't gonna be able to spend the money. Long as he know that he can get the money, you know what I'm talking about? This just show you how hungry he is.
Confession. It seems likely that the World and the Philadelphia Inquirer split the cost to secure exclusive rights, but various knockoff versions appeared in the national press, including the account in the Philadelphia North American that added the now infamous, quote, "I was born with the devil in me." However, Holmes' confession makes little sense. Although he claimed to kill 27 people, several of those he named were still alive, and he even got one of his purported victims' names wrong. It was suggested that Holmes was lying to secure money for his wives and children, but it is more likely that he was building a war chest in the hopes of filing an appeal. Regardless, he quickly exhausted his options, including a failed insanity defense, and on May 7, 1896, a little more than a week before his 35th birthday, he was hanged at Philadelphia's Moyamensing prison. The Legend of H. Holmes, the White City Devil.
See, this how these people do they give they people they flowers. They told y'all, man, this the White City Devil. Man, look how they describe this man, but they calling him a legend. You see what I'm saying? They make his story fascinating. When you read the story's so fascinating, but they giving us into a way that we accept this. Like, it's a good story. Like, it's not like a story to put out for us to be grieving, like, oh, this is sad. This was something to be promoting. Look.
The story of H. Holmes lingered in the public consciousness for a while after his own demise, but died off by the turn of the 20th century. In the 1930s, following another World's Fair in Chicago, one reporter recounted Holmes' story, drawing heavily from the likes of Holmes' own demonstrably false confession and the sensationalist reporting of the New York World. Although the author mused that Holmes would only be in his 70s had he survived, he seemingly never realized how many other figures from the case were still available for interviewing, including police detectives who had worked the case, Holmes' old tenants, and 3 of his wives. No such figures, people who could have shed light on what actually happened as opposed to parroting the myths, were ever interviewed. In another inaccuracy from Devil in the White City, Larson claimed that the Wallace Street building burned to the ground in 1895, though it was actually still standing when this reporter was writing his article. Soon after, it was demolished to make way for a post office.
Shit. And this right on 63rd. And this where a lot of missing people be coming up at, bro. They be coming up missing around in this area. Around in this area, bro. Do your research. Go look up at all the missing person reports that was filed around in this area. It's too many. Don't you know Kiara Cole don't stay far from her? Do you know how far Kiara Cole stayed from her and she came up missing? Then they had a lookalike walk in the neighborhood, a postal worker. You see what I'm saying? They had a postal worker walk by the house and had everybody thinking, oh, that's Kiara Cole on her way to work. But you mysteriously got this postal worker, and this postal worker ain't never came forward. Come on, bruh. You see what I'm saying? All you gotta do, tell me how many missing people came up in this area. This the west side.
Office. Flicker Post Office at 63rd and Wallace in Englewood, as it appears today, partially occupying the site of the so-called Murder Castle.
So you mean to tell me they dug up the basement too? Cause I bet you, cause look, I wouldn't even be surprised, bro. They preserved all that down in the basement. Cause you know the 3rd floor, he destroyed the 3rd floor. He had to set the 3rd floor on fire. You see what I'm saying? And preserve the first and the second floor. Come on, gang. That's historic. Everybody already know that place gonna turn into a historic place. You know what I'm talking about? So what they did was just, made it a post office. Made it, what I'm saying, remodeled it. They ain't did nothing but remodeled that jump, bro. Man, and could still be in operation. Cause nobody ain't gonna look for no missing person at no post office. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't nobody gonna think nothing suspicious like that going on in no post office that these people got bodies and they bringing bodies there in mail vans and carts, and you thinking it's mail owner, but they transporting humans and they go down there and dissect these people in these little basements. Why not think like that, gang? Y'all don't think that be going on in real life, or this shit just be happening in Hollywood? I guess it just happening in movies and stuff. But this the same thing they showed you in the movie. What's the name of that movie? Called Taken. Not Taken, but what's that movie? They was torturing people. You see what I'm saying? What's the name of that movie, gang? That these people going out of town, and these people, they friend was setting them up. And this thing, they wake up and they in a torture chamber. What's the name of that goddamn movie? It's on the tip of my tongue. Hostel. That's the name of it. Hostel. You see what I'm saying? What's the difference between, if you look at Hostel, the movie Hostel, then add H&H Home, that's the same goddamn story. Yeah, the movie Saw. Saw and Hostel basically the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Look at those two movies alone. Look.
Castle. Then, in 1940, crime writer and lay historian Herbert Asbury got hold of the Holmes story in his book, Gem of the Prairie, an informal history of the Chicago underworld. He too emphasized the 1893 World's Fair as Holmes' stalking ground, invented torture devices supposedly found in Holmes' basement, and stated that hundreds of Chicago tourists had gone missing, many of whom stayed at Holmes' World's Fair Hotel. In the absence of more reliable records, the Asbury account and the New York World Report became the building blocks for the modern Holmes legend. Over the course of the 20th century, that legend evolved with the modern understanding of psychopathy, leading to the description of Holmes as a psychosexually motivated serial killer. Authors like Larson continue to speculate about whether he had tortured animals as a child. In fact, Holmes notably loved animals, even raising a chicken in his prison cell while awaiting trial and execution. In light of the actual facts, how much of the H.H. Holmes legend truly holds up? Given the absence of any other suspects, it seems certain that Holmes killed Ben Pitzel and his 3 children, even if he denied it on the scaffold. Holmes admitted to killing Julia by accident in a botched abortion before murdering her daughter Pearl to cover up the first crime. How exactly he killed these people is uncertain. Julia and Pearl's bodies were never definitively identified. Bottles of cyanide and wolfsbane were found at the Indianapolis property where Howard Pittesell's remains were discovered. Public domain newspaper illustration of Holmes' victims, including the fictional Ms. Emily Van Tassel. Circa 1890s. And, although it is often claimed that Holmes suffocated Nellie and Alice by running a pipe from the gas line into the sealed trunk, the Toronto house they were buried under was not outfitted with gas. But, apart from the confession, Holmes never admitted to killing Minnie or Nanny Williams or Emmeline Sigrand, and police never even proved the three were dead. Apart from Minnie's watch chain and the story of the heavy trunk, the best evidence that could be provided on these points was the supposed footprint located inside the third-floor vault. Seemingly left by someone struggling and kicking to avoid suffocating, this print has provided fodder for many imaginations and is given a whole scene of its own in Devil in the White City.
So look, when they talk about the footprint, look how that one footprint that was left in the Kenneka freezer, bro, can make a big change. Cause you know the footprint didn't even come from no Jordan shoe. If you look at the old footprint, bro, them some high-tech steel-toe boots, bro, that police be wearing, bro. You see what I'm saying?
City. While various authors have concluded that this print was left by either Nanny or Emmeline in their final moments, Emmeline had already gone missing before the vault was installed and Holmes left for Texas only 3 weeks after putting it in. To make matters worse, many, like building resident Henry Darrow, who turned the castle into a dime museum for curious Chicagoans, admitted that they could not see this footprint at all.
I told y'all they had to turn it to a museum. You see what I'm saying? They had to turn it to a museum, bruh. So it still exists. It still exists. Everybody that worked the third shift that night wasn't even an employee at the Crown Plaza. These people was hired for that night, bro. They was hired for that night. Make it so bad. Look, when you watch the footage on September the 9th going on the 10th, you will never see the third shift coming in and clocking in. You only see French K coming back at the hotel acting like as he just clocking in. You don't see nobody else. You don't even see the dude that worked that night. They were watching the video, bruh.
In all likelihood, it was an optical illusion if it ever actually existed at all. Wikimedia Commons Holmes, with prison beard, depicted alongside one of the reprinted versions of his confession. April 1896. While Occam's razor would suggest that Holmes probably killed Sigrand and the Williams sisters, the only murders we can be more or less certain of are the Connors and the Pittesells. With that in mind, the psychopath described by the White City Devil myth seems misplaced, leaving us instead with a very different sort of criminal psychology more in step with modern notions about depraved killers and their twisted motives. In fact, none of the H.H. Holmes murders were crimes of passion at all. Instead, They were crimes of convenience and desperation, born of Holmes' desire to remove witnesses and anyone who knew too much about what he had been up to, which, of course, consisted of crimes like fraud and forgery. The fact he likely tried to kill Mrs. Pittisel with nitroglycerin to silence her as well only lends more support to this theory. This leaves us, then, with a final uncomfortable question. Which is worse? Is H. Holmes the monster of our collective imagination who clinically murdered hundreds for his own amusement? Or is he the kind of devil who murders children and tries to kill entire families to cover up for something as banal as insurance fraud?
And if you look at Miss Teresa's situation, don't it look like Miss Teresa and it do look like Miss Teresa was falling out with the hotel, and it felt like that Miss Teresa, it seemed like Miss Teresa was trying to get over, or the hotel was trying to get over. It's basically, to me, it's like when they were arguing, they weren't arguing like what the tape and the video, they ain't got nothing to do. It was like somebody somewhere down the line, someone going right what they agreed, and they all fell out about it.
For more on the legend of H. Holmes, take a look inside the White City Devil's so-called murder castle. Then, discover the theory stating that H. Holmes was also Jack the Ripper.
Well, they even saying he down there could be Jack the Ripper. And then you heard of the Jack the Ripper story, bro. So, look at all of this. Look, come on, bruh. Look. Now watch this. Now here go Kenneka Jenkins page. Now y'all know about this one? Annie girl neat from Atlanta, Georgia, living in California. There go the other page, right? There go Quetta them, J Money them, right? You see that? Married. Go look on all of this shit. Look. Look who all on the friend list. Look how far this go all the way back. Look how far this go back. Look. So y'all can go see that. See? Now y'all just go back and do that. Look, I dare y'all go down this friend list, cause I ain't gonna do it for you. I can't do it for you. You see what I'm talking about? But if you look at all these people, bruh, come on, man. That's how we gonna have to get justice. That's how we gonna have to get justice, bruh. So look. Look, gang. And what my other John at? Hold on, y'all. Let me pull the other one up. Let me see what I got here. Where is it? Hold on, y'all. I'm talking about I supposed to. So if you look at the pictures, right, what that picture of Kenneka in the freezer? That's what I need. Look. Y'all see the difference, bruh? So you mean to tell me, look. Come on now. So how Kenneka was gonna be with a thin face right here, but she swole on this picture? So look, how she gonna go from this to this? You see what I'm saying? Look, if you look at her nose and her lip, the little space, look, her tip of her nose is damn near touching the lip. Y'all talking about blood? Forget that. Look at her nose and look at this nose damn near touching the lip. And look how high the tip of this nose from the lip. You see what I'm saying? We already know it's gonna be blood and all this stuff on her. That ain't even nothing new. Dirt, you know what I'm saying? Trash, shit, goddamn it, trash bag, all that's in there, bro. So she went from this to this. Now look, y'all remember when you go to the text message, when you go to the when you go to Irene Live, now TY Live, and when you were reading the comments on there, now you see why you got Chester Mob and people was in the comments was like, They was in the comments, knew that this video was already pre-recorded. That's why they laughing in the background, cause everybody was thinking these people was live for real. You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't live. And all the people was in the comments. You see what I'm saying, guys? And they knew the business. And then look, ain't nobody on straight drop, and he got every bit of bloods on his hand. Look, it got to a point that nobody ain't even concerned about straight drop. Cause look, this is why y'all need to be concerned about straight drop, cause he was working with Miss Teresa the whole time. He ain't want nobody to figure out the pool area, cause they're gonna expose him and the family. Then they're gonna expose everything what he done put out there. You see what I'm saying? And then the first image when he was telling everybody, y'all know about the manager. You see what I'm talking about? You remember when he was telling y'all about the manager and who was choking her? Who y'all think he was talking about? Look. Matter of fact, watch this. Hold on, matter of fact, watch this shit.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm back. I told y'all I was coming back. And I got something else to show y'all. Yeah, we still on the beverage manager's ass over here. We on his ass. And in this video right here, we gonna watch him move. We gonna watch him move. And we gonna key in on a specific time frame between 11:20 p.m. on September the 9th, right before they found Kenneka, up until 12:26 a.m. on September the 10th. Okay? So, yeah, we're going to get into this shit, man. But before we do, we're going to go over this footage right here, man, because this is what they gave us. Kenneka walking straight to the freezer. Then we got this motherfucker right here walking straight to the freezer. So, yeah, let's get into this.
Now y'all see what I'm trying to say?
This shit, man. But before we do, let's rewind for the one time. On September the 9th at about 8 o'clock, Lenora and Miss Teresa and them up there acting a fool. But then we see the female manager in the lower level at 8:23:39. And then seconds later, look who's behind her. The beverage manager. Only thing is that he cut this corner and she didn't. But he's right behind her. Now, I don't know what she went down there to do, but what I do know is that he was on her ass. He was on her ass. And then we see her back at the front desk right here at 8:25 on the phone.
101, 201, an unwanted subject.
Now y'all see that? Now check this out. Now I put it in y'all face. This who this is. This the person that found Kenneka in the freezer. This the person that found Kenneka in the freezer, bruh. You see what I'm saying? And when he found her, he left her in there, bruh. Man, look, this information on y'all. I tried to put it out. You know what I'm talking about? Just did the best I can, gang. Man, look, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Man, Trey Gang love y'all. Y'all be cool. And y'all be safe and do your own research. Cause at this point, bruh, you know what I'm talking about. At this point, bruh, man, y'all better tighten up. Cause you know Miss Teresa already stealing our slang, talking about, yeah, we are Kenneka. They laughing and joking about it. These people finally got away with murder. Cause nobody ain't taking these people serious. Ain't nobody, you know what I'm talking about, taking these people serious. People just watching these folk living their best life off the goddamn greed they got from Kenneka, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on. Before I get out of here, look, I got to show y'all this before I go. I got to show y'all this before I go, though. Look. Y'all want to know how serious this is? I'm finna show y'all how serious this is. And I'm finna tell y'all who the fuck Macho is.
One oh one, 201, unwanted subject, 5440 River Road, 5440 River Road, Crown Plaza. It's going to be for a female black wearing a black sweater and blue jeans, knocking on all the hotel rooms. She's going floor to floor looking for her missing 19-year-old daughter. The hotel would like her off the property.
The police was called to the Crown Plaza at 8:29, and they wanted Miss Teresa and them off the property. Yeah.
But look, everybody know what they was doing at 8:29 when it come to Kenneka Watch. Remember what Miss Teresa said what she was doing around about 8 and 9 o'clock? Said they was in the parking lot, right? Come on, bro. I'm busting this bitch all the way up. I'm busting this whole head to the fat meat. You see what I'm saying? Look. Look. Y'all, the lady caught up.
Yeah. And then don't forget about this motherfucker right here. 5 minutes after they called the police, this maintenance guy ended up in the kitchen where they found Kenneka. And he told us in his statement that When he was in that kitchen, he was in there 1 minute before somebody from the front desk called him and told him to go check the pool. And I told y'all, I felt like he was being redirected. And I still feel that way. But I wanted to know who called him. Who called him? So, yeah. I went looking for the front desk footage. And let's see if we can figure out who called him. Watch this. Now, this footage right here is from the front desk. And it starts at 8:34. Watch the guy at the front desk. And don't forget, at this time, the maintenance guy, he's in the kitchen where they found Kenneka. Remember, he said he got a call from the front desk. He hangs the phone up, picks it right back up, takes some notes, he write down some shit. Okay? Watch it.
So when you think about it, y'all already know somebody in the freezer taking pictures of Kenneka.
Smoke up in the cooler. Usually it's just me and Macho, but on this night there was an older man who looked like a janitor smoking with us. Macho introduced us, but I forgot his name. So maybe 15-20 minutes into our session, here comes some drunk chick walking into the cooler.
What could happen, allegedly? What could happen? So we're going to play this audio clip, and then we're going to talk about it here on Raw Talk. We're going to let y'all listen to this first.
Guess who Macho will? Guess who Macho will? Watch this.
And we'll be right back.
This is from a witness that gave a statement on October 25th. It says here, to the investigating officer, Detective Delacova. On September 9th, 2017, at about maybe 2:30 a.m., I went to the Crown Plaza Hotel to chill with my boy, Macho, who works as the midnight.
There you go. Ever since I put this picture back up, I got a whole lot of backlash from them YouTubers. Cause when I put that picture up, look at all they content came right behind it. See that? That's why they got his picture on top of this police report. This was the picture circulating in the beginning. Bruh. And I just told y'all what it was. Look, I just told y'all what it was.
Security. Maybe twice a week I go there to spark up with Macho on his break. We go down to the kitchen area that is closed and we smoke up in the cooler. Usually it's just me and Macho, but on this night there was an older man who looked like a janitor smoking with us. Macho introduced us, but I forgot his name. So maybe 15-20 minutes into our session, here comes some drunk chick walking into the cooler. Everybody, including the girl, stopped and stared. The girl looked drunk and a little surprised, but when she looked at Macho, she seemed to recognize him. Then she started.
My life is essentially being on tour. How do I have tools that can leverage myself where there can be more of me getting stuff cleared?
You'll spend the rest of your life in prison. You know, you are going to.
You know, it'll be good for you. Maybe it'll give you and Stacia some closure.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since bringing Ms. of
organ rate into
leveling
for you here.
cause.
I can respond that stepped people of Cyprus. Well, please, abduction. Well, we're getting close. See those being done to of Cyprus. Now, let's not forget that my daughter, Dr. Christy Johnson, was almost killed by these people that are involved in this ring. But I assure all of you that I will do everything in my power to end this and to make sure that the citizens of Cyprus are safe again.
Well, please do share any specific leads you may have.
Well, I'm not at liberty to share anything at this moment. However, I will be interrogating someone with direct knowledge. Tony?
They're waiting for you.
I don't have to tell you how suspicious it is that Angela disappeared after she turned in evidence connecting you to a murder. So
Mistakes on my part. Malik, Stacia, Miles, sacrifices went into getting me here. So many mistakes on my part.
Y'all, do y'all see Zillionaire in the back?
Church, that is.
Y'all see Zillionaire?
That's why he's been spending so much time at the church and at the TV station. Don't worry about the board. I got it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because I need to show him that I'm in control. You know, so many seconds.
Do y'all see Zillionaire in the back? And he worked with Tammy Rowland. And remember, y'all, she was going live and was explaining, you know what I'm saying? Bro, that's Zillionaire. And y'all still ain't getting on Hollywood. This why Miss Teresa doing what they doing. Ain't nobody ain't even concerned about none of this. People still stuck on this freezer theory. Look, people still stuck on the freezer theory, bro. Guess who else became actors now? Guess who else got movie roles now, bro? Cause Zillionaire been had heels. You see what I'm saying? Look how many people they don't know this shit. Look how many people that don't know this shit, bro. Matter of fact, hold on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show it to y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me do it like this. Hold on. I think I'm on the site now. Look what all will pop up. Look what all will pop up. Saints and Sinners. We already know there's the movie Taken, Saints and Sinners. Look at the role, the characters. Right? And let me show y'all this. I got to show y'all the cast members. Nah, I gotta put it in by manual. Damn, I had the page. Damn, I had the page. God damn it, where is it? Oh, here it go out there. Here it go. Here it go. Hold on, y'all. Let me cut the chat on right quick. Damn, all this, bro. I don't know. Man, I gotta scroll through all. Man, I ain't finna do all this, bro. Nah, I ain't got time for this. Y'all do that. Y'all gonna have to do that on y'all own, bro. If y'all want to see that shit, bro, y'all got to do that on y'all own, bro. This too much work for me now. You know what I'm talking about? It's too much for me. Yeah, this too much. This too much for me. Y'all got the internet. Y'all on y'all phone. Goddamn it, do what I'm doing. Let me see. Caskin Warehouse Department. Series, movie scripts. I need the extra. Yeah, fuck that. You know what I'm talking about? But look, y'all would be surprised how many people that done got movie roles now. Y'all ain't even hip to that. Cause look, check this out, right? Y'all don't think Hollywood involved with this, bruh? These people done signed contracts, bruh. You had people that done really changed some of these people's lives, bruh. Some of these people, you know what I'm saying, in Hollywood, working in movie, filming now. You don't even know that, bruh. Like I said, gang, Dre gang, love y'all, man. Y'all be cool. Y'all be safe, bro. And do your own research. Cause you know what I'm talking about. If you let anybody come to you, you know what I'm saying, to tell you anything, and if you didn't do your own research, you will fall victim to this shit. So prepare for the consequences.